Fucking
people
what?
throwing gators.
No, but I think I need one. I could be. I am white.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah.
No lock on for this boss. Let's go.
Just great things. Yep. Yeah. 13 whatever by
Yeah.
768. Yikes.
One of those weird fucking resolutions.
Oh.
Ooh.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
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 So, gentlemen, are you ready for tonight? The night of nights.
The return.
Yep,
The return.
Got my
Return of
coping
SneakyDevil.
mechanism already going.
Do you really?
Yeah, I'm
What?
just farming Elden Ring.
Oh, what the fuck? Father, where did you put my alcohol?
I'm gonna go get a shot glass real quick.
My father came in here and he cleaned up.
You mean he hid your alcohol?
Yes. More or less.
It's an intervention.
Somewhat.
That does seem like something. That does seem like the way your dad would handle it. I'm gonna be.
Well, I mean, I sent this to Max earlier, but today when I told him that I was going to be landing at 5, he sent back to me, "If you're sick, don't bother coming home. Love you." And I'm just like,
All right.
okay.
Why did that just come out of nowhere? By the way, like.
and so then he acted. So then like 4 to 5 hours pass by, and then he sends me another text. He's like, hello? I'm like, hi? And he sends me the same text again. I'm just like, yes. That's all the text. Oh, okay. It's just like, what did you want me to reply to that? What was my reply to that supposed to be?
That would just seem like such a unprompted statement from him too. To like, don't come if you're sick. It's like,
Why would I be sick?
did someone tell you something I don't know?
Well, no, my grandmother was coming down, along with the reason tonight why we will be doing Warhammer stories,
Oh boy.
because my cousins are down here too, and all
Oh.
3 of them like Warhammer.
Oh.
Oh no.
I mean, woe be upon them.
Yeah, so we're gonna go read some
Hey,
cringe-ass Warhammer stories.
All right,
That-
wait, Sneaky. Listen, I got one request.
Yeah.
I want to know if I want to see the cesspool that is Gundam and Warhammer.
All right, fine. So what would Warhammer even be under? Games?
Warhammer's games.
I don't know. Yeah. Toot your horn, motherfucker.
Warhammer. Oh God. Oh God! I didn't even read these, and oh no.
It's already that bad, huh?
Yes. Why is the most popular crossover with Warhammer fucking Ruby?
Hell yeah.
Death.
You gonna pull the curtains up?
Yeah, there we go. Did he hide it in his stomach? No, he did not hide it in his stomach. He hid it behind my laundry. Which means I found the alcohol.
Wait. What the fuck?
Excellent. We got him,
Let's
boys.
go.
Twitch.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Twitch. Twitch knocked me out of mod view and it wants me to start a hype train on your channel.
Yeah, let's go, hype train.
Fuck that.
Woo!
So second highest crossover is Mass Effect, and then Harry Potter. I don't know why I'm surprised at this point. Star Wars. That's the most sensible one I've heard yet. And My Little Fucking Pony.
You can blame the
Of course.
loops type fix for that.
The what type fix?
The loop fix. Like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
I unfortunately know why that's a thing, and I'm not going into
There's
anything
a
else.
Genlock cross.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
Genlock has
Oh.
a section?
Oh,
Of course
no.
it has a section. Why wouldn't it?
Fanfiction writers love Ruby because its story is literally an empty canvas. You ain't wrong, but oof.
You're not wrong, but you are rude.
So you said you want to see Gundam stories. We got Gundam, one story for Gundam 0, two stories for Gundam Seed, one story for UC, one story for Wing, 3 for Gurren Lagann, and yeah, that's it.
Go for 00 because that's Atin's favorite
We
Gundam.
say 00 is my favorite.
Intervention of an Angel. Mysterious machines of graceful destruction have appeared on the battlefields of the 41st millennium. No one knows where they come from or what their objectives are, for they answer to no one and disappear without warning. The few that have been on their unlikely good side and have lived to describe them with only one word: angels. Completed story, so Atin, please tell us what the hell's going on here.
I mean, fuck if I know, dude. The short answer is the basic plot of Gundam 00 is let's take the fact that Gundams are bullshittingly powerful, and the guy who invented Gundams decided I'm going to stop all wars by making the biggest stick.
The weapon that suppresses Metal Gear.
Yes.
I see.
Mhm. They call them armed interventions when they interfere in battles.
It's very Russian.
Ooh. I mean, I was about to say it's very American. Armed interventions.
But yeah, no, it's called an armed intervention, and I forget. There's a point where they say if you don't stop fighting, we will remove your ability to fight.
Yeah, they just
You know
straight
what,
up.
Gray? I want to fit that into the chapter, into the Scarab chapter.
is
Time for
a
some
great-
armed intervention.
It's a great line.
That
a great
is a
line.
good line. Yes.
Yeah.
The question is, where do we put it?
I don't know. Actually. Maybe when she's fighting the trolls.
That's gonna be next chapter. God damn it.
Fair enough.
Good luck, Gray.
fun.
But yeah, so funny. Yeah, before we actually get started tonight, I do have a funny little story because I was mostly doing some editing over the my little sabbatical I had. And Gray had made a note on the chapter saying, "Sneaky, can you put in some like dialogue here where the dragon lady tells Taylor that she's still naked?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's probably pretty important. Yeah, I'll do that." And then, 2,000 words later, completely, nothing that I've ever remotely close to what Gray has asked me to write. I'm like, wait, what did Gray ask me to put in here again?
Good. I like that. Sneaky. I love it. You had a recurrence of this will just take 500 words.
I should only take 800 words to get there. 7,000 words later. Max, we haven't started the
just-
chapter yet.
Yeah.
Oops.
Whoops. we just chaptered. Whoops.
I guess this is a filler chapter now. Somehow.
We're at like
alright,
18K
so Adam,
and
you
you
were saying?
haven't even gotten past the first section.
I know.
Oh my god, guys. I would really
Amazing.
love to have a chance to just figure out a common interest for writing.
Yeah.
I just want to sit in a writing session
See
with
how
Gray
far
and
we
just
can
see.
go.
I want to sit in a writing session with Gray, and then when we hit a wall, we'll call you in.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
Sneaky,
no.
give us 1,000 words. We need our word count reset.
Indeed. Indeed.
I don't
Alright,
think
so
so.
But yeah,
Warhammer stories tonight. Yeah, so you were saying?
I was just gonna say Gundam.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: 0-0 isn't an awful choice.
Mhm.
Because it fits very well with like the Warhammer universe because there's one Gundam for the Gundams are actually set up into a team of 4. So like
Mhm.
there's one for close range, there's one
Right.
for sniping, there's one for heavy support, and there's one for air superiority.
Right.
If there's going to be any problem with crossing 00 with Warhammer, it's just the motivation of the main team,
Mhm.
which is arguably peace. So that's you'll have to twist it a little if you're going to put them
I
in
mean,
there.
yeah, I was gonna say it really depends on what you do. Like if you take the basic group and
Mhm.
you just stick them in 40k,
Mhm.
it's not gonna be great just
Mhm.
because the basic group wants Pete. Like the basic group would look at the Imperium and go, "Okay, shit is fucked, but you are absolutely 50% of this problem."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a separate problem of like, well, if you decide to put them in from the start and adjust their backstory to be as if they were always in 40k,
Then they wouldn't be
how
those
the
characters
fuck?
anymore. Yeah.
Well, not even that. How the fuck are you hiding these kind of weapons from the Imperium?
No,
I
that's
is
super
that
easy actually.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
oh,
That's
that's just
super easy.
common.
fairly. You could also excuse the Gundams by calling them what are they called? HTCs or whatever.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say literally, you label them Archaeotech.
Yeah.
And there you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
there's your
Archaeotech
Gundams.
just old tech that was lost to time or something?
So
So at
basically,
one
It
when
is
it
point,
comes
the
to
best
management
Warhammer,
was
tech.
super smart and
Yeah.
do a bunch of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And all of the cool stuff that there was to make had been figured out. And it was all on what's called the standard template construct.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this database went out to
Everywhere.
whenever a new settlement was established, they got an STC. So houses, guns, tanks. It's the ultimate 3D printing library, Max.
Yeah.
Oh.
And basically, what happened is that a lot of it was lost. And if you find like even a fragment of an STC, it's like you're guaranteed accolades across the sector.
Oh. Okay.
Basically,
Yeah.
you can go to
Even if that
Elysium, essentially, and you're set for life for
Yeah.
finding 1% of an STC.
Wow.
and let's be clear, it could be the STC to make doorknobs.
Yeah.
But for what it's an STC doorknob, so that is going to be the pinnacle of doorknob technology.
So it's
Literally.
just the ultimate MacGuffin, and there's a shit ton of them lost to time.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And there's
I'm
some
down with
that
that.
are there's
Yeah.
some that are on planets that don't even know what the fuck they are, or that are in human hands. There's some that
Okay.
are on lost planets. There's some that are on the worst goddamn planets to ever exist.
And
And
there's
there
some
are
lost in the warp.
plenty of them in Space Hulks.
All right.
Yep.
Well, with this
So
info in
many
hand,
space dogs.
yes, you could totally say the Gundams are Archaeotech.
Well, and right, and here's the thing: what I would do
You
is
know,
if I was going to do this, what I would do is I would set it so that it's an STC on some fucking Tau Sept world,
Oh,
and
okay.
they deciphered part of it, and that's how they got crisis suits.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. You know what, Max?
Yep.
And you know, because you brought this up, there is one thing both you and Gray and I would all have the enjoyment working on, for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Havel teaches an orc band.
Oh,
I believe we've covered this.
Yes,
The
we
man
have.
of ultimate faith teaches those of blind faith. Oh
Yes.
boy.
I love
Oh,
orcs.
yeah, no, you and I have had this discussion with
Yes.
someone else at one
Well,
point.
and the best and
Yes.
stupidest part of that whole thing is he'll be a normal Hume under there. Like, they absolutely shouldn't figure out that they should just think that he's kind of a stunty knob.
I mean, Havel's a big dude.
Yeah,
No,
the
but
way
okay, but Sneaky, he's not a war boss.
That's fair. This is true.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. They should just think that like he's a knob who like he wears the stone armor, and because he's wearing the stone armor, he can't get any bigger. So he
Maybe.
just gets tougher.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, then there'll be that great moment where they go right at some point he takes the helmet off, or the helmet gets knocked off somehow, and they're like, "You're an Yumi."
Yeah, you know, it's Warhammer. There's plenty of things that could knock that helmet off.
But at the same time, there's not
Anything
much
that
that can
gets
actually
close-
knock the helmet off.
Gets smacked by an ogre, or proceeds to
if
smack the
if
ogre
you're being
back.
hit by something that's gonna knock the helmet off, you have a lot bigger problems.
I was gonna say, listen, here's what it
Probably
should
they'll just
be.
walk it off.
It should be like he takes a las cannon to the face, and that's what does in the helmet.
No. It would have to be a Melta minimum.
Yeah.
You know what?
Oh wait, no, Sneaky. He's fighting some fucking Chaos Marine champion. He's beating the Chaos Marine. He's
Also-
beating the Chaos Marine. The
so-
Chaos Marine pulls out a Volkite pistol.
I
Doesn't
will
kill him.
I will date myself on this one, right? So, I was in another Discord server, and I made this comment, and I'm going to date myself pretty heavily with this. General Radon is just Jack Racken of the modern era.
Yes, that does in fact appear to be accurate.
Hate his fight, love his lore.
Yeah, hold on, guys. I'm just going to casually stop the stars. You just
Yeah.
wait, hold on, you gonna what? Yeah, I'm gonna go
he-
fight the stars and win.
He was already badass enough when I realized that he was using gravity magic 24/7 for his horse,
Oh
despite being in a throw of madness with no
yeah. Dude
consciousness
has literally
left.
lost all rationality, is still fighting the stars and winning, and is still using 24/7 gravity magic on his horse, and is still fighting everyone that comes to fight him, and winning.
And
He's
this
using the
is
gravity
an
magic
annual
on the horse for the
festival.
sole reason of I like this horse.
Yeah, it's been an annual festival for however long he's been mad.
Which was since millennia.
Which we don't
So
really have a
probably
time scale, but it's been a long time.
It's
if
centuries at
if
least.
something is referred to as an annual festival, that means it's going on for quite some time now.
It has gone on for a minimum of 2 years.
Yeah,
At least.
at minimum. Yeah.
Probably 3.
And let's be frank, 2 years alone, 2 years of kicking the stars' asses, the asses of stars,
While
is quite
insane.
impressive.
Let's not forget what Phase 2 entails. The
Yeah,
start.
Yeah, where he goes
and
and beats
then
a meteorite.
all-
That was hands down an amazing scene. I loved the shit out of that because I was like, wait, the fuck? He just jumped into the sky. Okay, where is the hell is he? Oh my god!
I actually did have that moment of like, where is he? Why is the sky turning red? Look up. Oh, that's coming right at me.
That is
Yes. Ah.
aimed at me.
Okay.
I didn't even see him when he killed me the first time.
I had enough time to register what was happening and to have that stupid cliche moment of like, that's coming at me.
My only actual death was entering into the boss fight, and I'm just like, okay, so where is he? Arrow, dead. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
everyone's first reaction there. Like, all right, where's this boss? Chunk.
All right.
Ah.
Very well. Continue.
Where's the boss then? Oh, there's the boss.
Anyway, so let's get started tonight.
Oh, we've been
We
started.
got we got fucking waifu poster right here. Crimson. In an alternate realm of the Warhammer 40k universe. In long history, same record written over millennium, yet there are some variation of the stories due to differences in events. Guys, did you know that stories are told differently if they have different events in them?
No.
Fuck?
Damn, I didn't know,
Yeah.
bruh.
This is
Bruh.
wild.
Who could have
You're
thought?
lying.
How could this happen?
This is a world where multiple dimensions intertwine and forces from different realities try to cross over and fulfill their conquests, whether it's for survival or other means. This is a 32-chapter, multi-crossover Warhammer story, freaking 2 books long. Now, I want you guys to take all that information in and guess how many favorites this story has.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna say it's
5.
sub 50.
I'm gonna say 5.
It's sub 50 for
It's
sure.
4.
There's 4
This
favorites.
story has 4 favorites.
So close.
Oh
Dude's
man.
been writing this story for a year. He's written 2 books of it.
Half a year, Sneaky.
Half a year, yeah. He's written 2 books in a half a year, and 4 people showed up.
He's
Yeah.
gotten 2 reviews.
I always feel kind of bad about those because, like, they clearly have a story to tell, but man,
And we have more fucking people
Maybe
watching the
move on
stream
to it.
right now.
maybe move on to
Oh.
a different story.
Neat,
that-
get the fuck out reference. Ooh, Yeah, so, I mean, this is just a classic tale of this guy is clearly determined to tell his story, but is completely blind to the fact that no one wants to hear it.
Yeah.
Which is saying something in the fanfiction community, because the shit we have
Someone-
seen favorited.
Yeah.
Pain.
The real
Mind
question,
of
though, is,
one.
like, how does it actually stack up going through that first chapter?
Oh, well, let's see. Prologue. In deepest eons of history, before mankind emerged from primordial ooze, the Necrotier dominated the galaxy. Eons ago, the Necrotier home planet was blah blah blah, blah 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 blah, rehashing all this garbage, blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah,
Are
blah
they
blah
just
blah.
rehashing 40k lore?
Yeah, they're just rehashing all
Yeah.
this. Leaders,
Oh,
Necrotier,
right.
rehash.
There I was willing to give it a shot.
Rehash. Oh, well, hey, wait, hold on. The Terra
Listen.
family was the first lords to rule over Earth.
No, that's not how that works. Listen, I want to point something out. You can sum up the vast majority of 40k lore with a bunch of space lizards did not like the space Egyptians or their space Egyptian gods. So they made the space elves and the space orcs to fight them.
Yes.
And then the space elves won, and then they fucked a chaos god into existence.
Yes.
As you do.
As one does.
This is a non-exhaustive but fairly accurate summary.
Yeah.
It's more akin to the space Egyptians got mad at the space lizards. They got fucked up the first time. They made a deal with vampire gods, or vampire star gods. Then decided that they were going to genocide the space lizards. Got into everything. Space lizards went, oh no. Made the orcs, made the space elves. And then fucked up everything by hitting the warp.
Okay, so then suddenly out of nowhere, this guy decides he's going to take a massive turn, and just literally just throw out some massive AU shit. Earth is actually called Terran, Terren. And this invented Earth, and the Terra family is the one that controlled Earth, and Maria Terra and Milla Terra disappeared without a trace, but they secretly control the entire world from the shadows. And then a traveler from the outer realm enters the star system, and he's like, oh, this is just more humans. And then he is the collector, the overlord, and sometimes god to the inferior races, but he claims to be
It's
the
fucking treason.
archaeovist of the Solomance galleries. Yeah, so some garbage AU bullshit where it's not even, then Trazen shows up or something. Like, I don't know, man. I can't
How's
see
this-
this. Yeah.
How's the spag look at least?
The spag looks alright, all things considered. It's just the guy decides he's just gonna retroactively change the entirety of the plot of Warhammer 40k, which might be why people don't want to read his story, because it's not Warhammer 40k, at all.
It's the Necrons and something else, but it isn't the Imperium, and that's what a lot of people do like.
Well, I mean, also apparently the Necrons won in this AU.
The Necrons
I mean, no, let's be
technically
clear.
won
The Necrons
already.
did win.
The Necrons won. The thing was,
They killed the space lizards.
they killed the space lizards.
No,
Then they killed their gods, and
No,
then
so
they were at the very end.
No, what happened in this AU was the Necrons lost until they were about to announce their defeat, and then the old ones just disappeared.
Okay, that's very dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So, cringe. Thumbs down. Mind of One, Might of Many by Mando9. Getting randomly stuck in Warhammer 40k universe where I have heard that one before. Will I be guardsman or space marine or just random citizen? Well, I wish I had a choice, but it turns out life is a bitch.
Yeah, you definitely.
Riveting.
The Warhammer 40,000 universe is not big on individual choices.
Well,
No,
I mean,
you
yes.
get conscripted into stuff more often than not.
Also, if anyone ever finds out you're an isekai character, you'll be
Occasionally, if you
executed.
impress the right people, you get
a
something,
promotion.
And then die
or
anyway.
you get to be something cool, like a space marine or a cog boy.
And then die anyway.
Yes,
You get to die.
because the
new
Tyranids
fancy
invaded.
way.
Or the orcs invaded. Or the Eldar decided that killing your entire planet would save 2 Eldar babies and an Eldar dog, and, well, goddamn, that's worth genociding a planet for.
Yeah.
Not a dog, a cat.
By the way, I wish I was joking about that.
Oh, I know. Also,
Fucking
yeah,
space
Aura does
elves.
post a very relevant meme.
Like, Max, listen, the Eldar are the worst people in 40k. Like, maybe they could be forgiven for accidentally birthing a demon god, right? Stuff happens. Stuff happens. But it's the fact that they then continue to go, every other race is less important than us, and we will genocide billions of people to save 5 of us.
Yeah, the Eldar are kind of fucking retarded, and everyone hates them because the Eldar make everyone hate them because the Eldar are so up their own asses they've gone full Inception, and they look normal.
The best ones are the jesters.
At least the jesters know
Gray.
the jesters know what's up.
The murder
jesters-
jesters.
The murder jesters.
Yeah.
And that's just because they're completely and blatantly honest about what they are.
Yeah, they're murder jesters.
Exactly.
We're murder jesters, and we're going to orchestrate your entire life story around one of our old plays, because it will get us a result that we want, and also it's funny.
Mostly it's funny.
So why are you helping us? Well, it's really gonna advance the Eldar race, and we might make progress against the Chaos Gods, and it would be funny. Wait, was that last one?
Oh,
it'd be funny.
and we really want to watch you get what you want, because you want a harem, and you're gonna learn that more waifu will ruin your lifeu.
Yeah. Also, it'd be funny.
True.
So they're chaotic neutral.
Why
in
are you
fashion.
helping me again? I want to laugh at your misery.
At least you're honest. You're better than the other knife ears.
I don't know how to feel about this one.
They're like chaotic neutral barely even covers what they are, Max.
They're chaotic. Honestly.
That's the best way to put it.
You can't
So
be
why are
double
you
one
here?
alignment. Fuck you, I guess
Because
I can.
it's Thursday and I'm bored. But it's also secretly part of our master plan.
Which is funny.
What's the master plan? To have fun.
At least someone's
Unfortunately,
having
this
fun.
year I actually picked the role of asshole from the hat. Wait, you actually pick roles from the hat? Yeah. Yeah, it's a really big hat.
most of the results are asshole.
It's a god's hat.
No, but like I'm joking, but that's actually lore for the Jesters. Is when they complete one of their plays, everyone picks a new role.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
And
they
so-
pick a new role relative to the play that they're picking.
Yeah,
Don't forget that part.
and so it's not like I say new role, but it's really like entire personality and backstory change. Like they just invent new people to be.
Except they're not inventing them; they're pulling them from a shitty old play.
Yes. Well, you know what I mean. Where they're not like this is Matt Damon the Jester Elf, but he's actually gonna act like Johnny Depp for this play and like Liam Neeson for this play, and it's you're never gonna meet him as Matt Damon is basically my point, because he's always gonna be playing someone else. They're chaotic lawful. They have a code, but no one will ever know what it is. That's That's fair enough. That
That actually is a very good thing.
And they will try so hard. They came within millimeters of redeeming a Chaos Space Marine.
Is it Space Marine or Primarch?
It was a Space Marine, I think. I don't think it was.
Okay.
Primarch.
Technically, it's just a Space Marine, but since that Space Marine is Fabius Bile, he might as well be a freaking Primarch.
Definitely. Oh, fucking Bile.
But,
no, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, they came within, like, 2 steps of not only keeping him away from chaos, but redeeming him and turning him into the man who would kill the gods.
Yeah.
And then he killed him?
No. Then he gave up. Something happened, I'm not quite sure what, but he decided to work for the demons, and he might be on his way to replacing Nurgle?
Nice.
Oh.
Well done. Well done,
Would that be a
Jester.
problem?
Did you not pick up on that, Gray?
I have not looked at Chaos's lore in a while, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I will share my Kindle password with you later because I've got the Fabius Bio books. Those are some good ass books.
So anyway, the story starts off with many people imagine themselves getting transported into fictional universes.
Also,
like they expect
Fabius
some
Bile
sort of
has a pimp.
fanfare. Some majestic or mystical portal opens up to drag them through. A panic's beginning as you realize it's not your world, a land you know. Blah blah blah. Quick unfortunate end to your previous life. No, just to wake up in your pajamas under a thick canopy of leaves. Honestly, no. Doesn't really matter how I end up in another world. If I ever end up in another world, I'm pretty sure I'll know I'm in another world, because first off, I'll be outside of my basement. That's the first sign I'm in a different world. Second sign I'm in a different world is no one trying to kill me. Yet.
I mean, that depends entirely on where you end up.
I said yet.
Yeah, like if you end in like.
But like, if you end up in the middle of a war zone somewhere, like
that's
you're probably gonna end up.
Funnily enough,
attempt on your
because
life
of the
fairly
scale of
fast.
40k, you're much more likely to end up on a nothing than you are a battlefield.
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the odds are really in the favor of you not being in anything.
You end up in
to begin
40k.
with.
Not only do you end up on a world that's not populated, it's a great world. Very lush, easy to grow food there. You easily built a whole house there, and you're kind of just living the rest of your life, and it's pretty chill. And then you look up into the sky one day, and you see a big fucking space Hulk racing directly towards the planet.
Uh-oh.
Well, there goes the next 3 decades you planned, at least.
Well, there goes the neighborhood.
No. Gray, you wake up on a calm, peaceful forest planet. Oh god, no, it's Tanith.
Oh no. The trees.
Anyway, so he wakes up to gunfire in the middle of a battlefield, bullets and red
Although,
beams
let's be
whizzing
clear,
around.
you could also wake up
Yep.
on, like, Catachan.
Oh god.
And listen, here's the
Very
thing.
well.
A normal human wakes up on Catachan, they will not live.
Yeah. Hey, if you wake up on Catachan, you're dead in 5 minutes because you're already poisoned.
Oh, it's one of those.
So anyway, blah blah blah. I
The
recognize
infant
the Astra
mortality rate is like
Militarum,
75%, not because they don't have
Gene
medical care,
Stealer
but because they get eaten.
hybrids. I
They have
read the
scorpions
Scythius
the
Kane
size of
book so
battle
much I
tanks.
knew them by heart. I bolted to the jungle and I kept my head down. Everything's exploding around me. I ran into a squad of Gene Stealer cultists. They stared at me. I stared at them, and then they
They-
screamed and ran at me.
They would not stare.
Screamed.
They would immediately run at you. Also, if they find one lone untainted human, they're not going to kill him. They're going to hold him down until a proper gene stealer comes along and eats your chest cavity.
Yeah.
There's a lovely thought.
Yes. The trees.
Well, here's the thing. It might eat your chest cavity if it's hungry, or it will do something much, 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 much worse, which is put tiny little gene stealer DNA in you that will slowly rewrite your DNA into a gene stealer.
And then you explode into a Gene Stealer.
No. Then you are psychologically compelled to fuck to make more creepy hybrid
mean,
gene stealer babies.
Isn't
That
that
is
just human experience?
unfortunately not wrong.
I wish I was wrong, but that's the lore, baby.
Goddamn gene stealer fucks.
They sure
I
do.
joined the Tyranids to become a Heron protagonist.
Listen, look, all I'm gonna say is this: there have been, I forget what it was. I read a shit post of a story
Yeah.
where an Ordos Hereticus
Mm.
Inquisitor went in because they thought they'd found a Slanesh cult, but they had in fact found the horny gene stealer cult.
Ah, yes. It's very easy to get those two confused.
I was like, okay, all right, that's kind of
Attention,
funny.
we are currently on a Warhammer Isekai story.
And we've already picked apart the fact that the human's not dead.
Yes, because he's been captured by the Gene Stealers. Blah blah
No,
blah.
not captured by the gene stealers.
No, he's been captured by the Gene Stealers.
Oh, yeah, they did. Okay, so
Yeah,
the
so
author's
they
not a
captured him.
complete moron, at least.
Yep. Well, I mean, he claims to have read Scythius Kane so many times he can recognize Gene Stealer cults on sight.
I mean, in this moron author's defense, recognizing gene stealer cultists is not particularly difficult.
Yeah.
Unless they're first generation, they are not going to be difficult at all to see.
It's like first generation or like sixth generation.
Why
Do
is
they
it
have
sixth
an extra
generation?
arm?
Is it sixth generation where they become perfect humans again?
They become
No, they
perfect
just
gene stealers.
look like perfect humans.
That's what my point was. Yeah.
Yeah, because like generation 1 is obviously they're still just a human spreading the taint. Generation 2, they look like a chrysalid had sex with a human. Generation 2 or generation 3, if that somehow manages to reproduce,
Yeah.
which is generally done with a pure strain human.
I see.
So,
yeah.
so gene stealers are just body snatchers to an almost like fanatical degree.
That
Yes.
require humans. Also, it also mostly requires humans to either be incredibly stupid or very horny. To
No, because the problem is like for what basically when a gene stealer infects a normal human, they go through whatever the incubation process is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how long it is or how much time it takes, but it's not very long. And then it basically just turns on their hormones again. That's it. And there's literally it's like looking for vampire. Like it's 2 little puncture wounds in the neck or the chest. Like that's what you're trying to find.
I see.
And then of course, what they'll do is once they've got Gen 2 and Gen 3s, they'll just kidnap perfectly normal people, fight them, and at that point, crank them up to the point where they're essentially a Slanesh cultist, and they don't care what they're putting in them or letting be put in them.
Fair enough. So anyway, yeah, he gets strapped down. There's a prick in his neck. His eyes become fuzzy, and then they start cutting him open. Skin was peeled around his side. Medical tools cut into his skull. They insert it into his skull. My first thought was they were trying to turn me into a servitor, and God, did that freak me out. I didn't know about their lore, but I realized this is a fate I want to avoid no matter what. Yeah, no shit.
Wait a
If
minute.
someone's strapping you to
You've
the
read
table-
Caiaphas Cain enough times as you can recognize a Gene Stealer cultist on sight,
Hmm.
but you don't. You can't write Gene Stealer cults well enough to know that they wouldn't be cutting someone open for literally any reason.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that at all.
Yeah, see, well, this Gene Stealer cult is, in fact, digging around inside him to insert things into him. And then they put his head back on, and they sealed it back up. And then they wrapped something else around his skull, metal, and... At first, I hope the worst would be over, but then something else was wrapped around my skull. Metal and think cables were connected to me, then pain came back. Okay, so this guy's clearly got some grammar issues going on here.
Also, Gene Stealers don't make.
They don't make servitors.
They'll
Yeah.
make use of servitors if they, infect a tech priest or whatever.
So anyway, they're putting a vice on his skull or something. His entire body is shaking in pain, and then he feels another mind inside his mind. And the way the author describes it is, my mind is a moving car, and someone just jumped into the passenger seat and shoved into him. They started screaming into his ear as we both tried to hold on to the steering wheel. Oh, okay. Crying out for God, my mom, and the Emperor of Man. You didn't even capitalize man, you piece of shit. Literally anyone to make the pain go away. The Gene Stealers began crying too. From what little I can reflect on now, from what little I can reflect on now, praised to the great God above, and for it to accept this vessel. I don't know what that means, and I didn't register or care. Just occupied the screaming of the vocal hordes, noticed guardsmen blasting down towards the warehouse. Gunfire, more screams, the raid, everyone's cutting everyone, everyone's dying. Check for wounds, is this one infected or not? Blah,
Well,
blah,
given that he
blah.
looks like a servitor, they'll be killing him anyway.
Yeah. Their strains had to be removed from my body. Got nothing besides from this one in the back of his neck. It looks like it was just made, ma'am. Doesn't look like something from a Gene Stealer, though. They suspected me of being tainted by Gene Stealers. I was dead as shit.
No, you're not. I mean, they have a way to check. Okay, assuming these guardsmen aren't like Valhallans or something,
Yeah.
they'll lock you in a container and then they'll test you.
What, to see if you're horny?
No, like the Gene Stealer thing literally it puts Gene Stealer DNA in you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I know.
completely detectable.
Okay.
Like it's obviously you don't just randomly test the entire population, but like if you find a Gene Stealer cult, you test everyone.
You
Cuz then
test
you
the
know.
people in power first, and then you slowly go down in the important
If I
position.
wasn't already, I had no idea. Wait, I had no idea what the cultists did to me, but why? But didn't. Wait, what the fuck? I had no idea what the cultists did to B, but didn't why need Gene Stealer Patriarch to infect new hoists? And didn't leave
No,
victim
they do not.
disoriented.
They do not need the Patriarch.
This dude, I
All they
don't know
need
what.
is
I think this dude's writing it on his phone, because he's just like. Or that, or he's spell checking everything and just hitting accept all. Because there's just words that are just like, I
They
had
should
no
not be
idea
here.
what cultist did be, but didn't why need. Like, what?
Yeah, like honestly, that sounds like I had no idea what the cultists did to me
Yeah.
or why they picked me.
Yeah, it's just, there's just words that are just either missing or auto-corrected weird. Guardswoman, it's just guardsman. It's just guardsman. I fucking hate this so much. It's just guardsman. It's an occupation.
Depends on the regiment.
I guess. But I just it's so very irritating to me when people I know it's not even like SJW shit or anything. It's just irritating when people like just try to like jam it in there. It's like I've literally seen one person before. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't prevalent. I've never seen this anywhere else. But one person before literally said Soldier S. And I'm just like,
What?
The fuck?
Yeah.
They must fancy themselves the next Tolkien trying to make new words like that.
Yeah, like I said, it just really irritates me when people are just, oh, has the word man out there. You can clearly use a woman variant. What's etymology?
Yeah, we don't need etymology in today's society. That just gets in the way.
Guardswoman in front of me pursed their lips. Just say her lips. If you're gonna go
Unless
out,
they're
if you're gonna go out and be like guardswoman, just say her. Don't do this shit. Fuck you. Trying to come up with what to do to me. Adam's already laid out what they're supposed to do to you. So, now, admittedly speaking, they could just execute him in the field, say they didn't recover anyone.
No, I was literally, depending on regiment, like there's literally two responses depending on regimental orders and home world preference. Like,
yeah, like
because like
the
commissar would say shoot him.
Yeah.
The inquisitor will say shoot him. The nice commissars will
No.
test him and then shoot
The inquisitor
him.
will say dissect him alive.
That depends on which Inquisitor branch it is.
That's fair.
And which faction of said thing.
Also fair.
Okay, listen. The Inquisitors are going to be some variation of murder horribly. Timeline pending.
The Inquisitors are going to be some variation of you're going to wish the Commissar got to you.
Yes.
That's a lovely thought.
Yeah, the Inquisition's going to make you wish the man with a tiny explosive pistol shot you in the head.
Yep.
So what's your solution to things, Commissar? Shoot it. Argument? Shoot it.
Understood.
Both of them? Yeah.
Soldiers, lack of discipline in the soldiers? Shoot them.
Can't read the book? Shoot it. All right.
Damn right.
If it looks like a book I'm supposed to read with weird symbols, shoot it.
If someone hands me this book, shoot them too. Commissars.
Unless you're Caiaphas Cain, which is then trick someone else into shooting the book while you look heroic in the background.
Many were cut down by the sudden counterattack. Wait, what?
What
I was
counterattack?
found captive by Gene Stealer cult, after all. Yes. To the person who's apparently read Caiaphas Cain so much, you really don't appear to know much about Warhammer.
I want to point out, there is literally one time in the entirety of the Caiaphas Cain books when he used his commissarial authority to execute soldiers, and it was the two people that he was 99% certain were gene stealers, and then they checked them, and they were gene stealers. And that's the only time he executed soldiers. Not even he didn't execute them when they were cowards. He didn't execute them when they disagreed with him. He didn't execute them when they got into a fight. Just the two that were gene stealers.
I'm just baffled by this. The guardswoman had to decide what to do with me. I was found by a gene stealer cult after all. Yeah.
That shouldn't make any difference, as said.
Before she or anyone else could do anything, the cultists came back. They just came back. Many were cut down in the sudden counterattack. I didn't care to think about the death around me as instincts took over and instructed me to run. So I staggered out of the chair and fell into the body of a hybrid, and blood was everywhere, and I tried my best to ignore it. And then failing that, dry heaving on the empty stomach.
Just another point of order.
Yeah.
Flak armor is very, very bad.
Yes.
But it does, in fact, stop auto guns and other las guns 90% of the time.
If they hit you in a joint or the head, you're dead. But if they hit the body, which most of it should, you're going to live. And even a bolter is likely to just severely injure a person unless it hits straight in the chest.
Yeah.
All of that, suffice to say, how is this counterattack cutting them down? Like,
they were just cutting them down, you know? They were just don't look, man, don't question it. Look, the cultists showed up and all the guardsmen died. Just go with it.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it's simple, man.
You've read so much Caiaphas Cain, yet you've decided that guardsmen are hideously incompetent morons.
Yeah, dude, look, he read Caiaphas Cain, and he just knows everything about Warhammer, which is why all the guardsmen died.
Sounds to me more like you read an Ultramarine Codex.
Everyone died, and the few that didn't die were cut down in melee. Once I made it to the window, broken glass shredded my feet. And so I instead crawled to the window and dragged myself over the broken window into the over the edge and outside into pouring rain.
Ow, this hurts my feet. Let me drag my intestines over it.
Yes. And then I got up on my feet and I ran.
You mean the feet that you weren't using because of the broken glass?
Yes. Yeah. Don't. You're doing this thing again when you're questioning this guy. you just gotta roll with it at this point, man.
No, you know what? For once, Sneaky, you don't gotta leave the angry review.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it for you.
Review.
No. He's gone now.
Feeling the wet squelch of what the fuck? Feeling the wet dirt squelch beneath my feet. Okay. And stopped once I saw a buttload of armored transports. Although there was no soldiers in sight. Oh wait, why is this a Bloodborne story?
Ooh.
That was fine for me as I took chance and booked it out of there, covered by gray clouds, blocked sunlight and rain, masking my footsteps. Not really. Not to mention thick green foliage that I ran into.
You're running
I wasn't
through
thinking.
mud.
I was trying to get away. The raging gunfight as fast as my legs would allow. After a while, the adrenaline died down and my sides burned. You're still running on bloodied feet shredded by glass. Also, you dragged yourself over a broken window.
Yeah, that's gonna cut more than just your feet, my guy.
You are going to be bleeding out, and you are not going to be alive in a minute or so.
And so then he decided he was gonna sit up against this tree, and he's like, "Wow, my pajamas are dirty, And oh my god, there's blood pooling in them. And he's like, oh man, I'm in Warhammer. Oh boy.
That should have been obvious.
And then I started crying. And that's the whole chapter.
Okay, I mean, to be fair, realizing you're in Warhammer and crying is the correct response.
No, that's absolutely the correct response. Don't get me wrong.
Everything up to that was the problem.
Yeah. Holy shit. That is, supposedly this story features the Eldar, Space Marines, Tyranids, and the OC.
I don't want to see that.
I'm not interested in this story at all.
Yeah, no.
Anyone who is needs to go see a doctor.
No, they need to report to their local commissariat.
That as well. Though he is
Preferably
the
get a
doctor.
lobotomy.
You know what? Colonel Commissars are cool, but I want to see Dr. Commissar PhD.
Dr. Commissar PhD.
Now,
when
soldier,
you have a
I
doctorate
am
in
licensed to treat
executions,
you
actually
medically.
business accounting. My master's in
No.
executions.
No, like Sneaky, think about it. Now, soldier, I am the regiment medic, so I can't reveal to anyone where you got this gene stealer pox. I am, however, going to have to write you up for it.
And by write you up, I mean coxbolter.
Now, soldier, could you quote for me regulation number 33, no fraternizing in the ranks? Then would you care to tell me why there's been an outbreak of herpes in this regiment and the all-female regiment in the next room? No? Coxbolter.
I see you have chosen.
God, all of
The
these are just so cringe. This is the story of Scythius Cain and the Nero Imperium with all the juvies that mentioned his accounts.
Please leave Caiaphas Cain out of this.
Yeah, even better, 600-word chapters.
Ugh.
I mean, at least there's not a lot of them.
That kind of
Uh,
makes it worse.
Yeah,
I
kind of
mean,
makes it worse.
it's a single chapter, yeah.
Warhammer Short Stories, a collection of short stories set in the various Warhammer settings, mostly 40k, some Age of Shitmar, as well as other stuff that aren't stories. If you have a prompt, leave it or PM me. 34
I've seen
chapters,
Prompt, stop fucking writing.
3 books.
I've
He's been
seen
doing
that
this
guy
since
before.
2014. Yeah, well, it's old.
Yeah, he does
Reincarnation
ruin
in
heresy.
40k. Follow the story of Anon.
No thanks.
Oh boy.
Does the story of Anon involve death?
The death of
Follow the
Anon.
story of Anon, who is reincarnated into 40k after his unfortunate demise. Why is he here? Can he control his Psijic abilities before being consumed by Kos? Who brought him here? Read through his journey to answer questions. The story is Rupload, since I didn't like previous version. Oh no, it's a V2!
Get out the bingo card, boys.
Oh, God.
And here's the thing, I'm sad because, like,
Yeah.
of all the commissars, Caiaphas
Yeah.
Cain is the best, but no one can actually fucking write him.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, because he's
makes sense
actually
because it is
like a
Cain.
fully fleshed out character, which they aren't used to dealing with. He served the Koosh Googe now. Yes. Yes, potatoes indeed. He does indeed serve the Koosh Googe. The Koosh Googe!
I'm gonna need more alcohol.
We all do.
Bottoms up, boys.
I can drink to that.
There are insufficient amounts of alcohol present.
Now, Max, I will have to say, when you do build this compound of ours, we have to have an extensive alcohol cellar or the ability to make alcohol on premise.
Should I just put a cot in the alcohol storage for you?
Why would I sleep there?
Yeah, I would say,
You don't
no.
have to
Here's
sit
the
there all
thing.
the time. It's just a cot. It's not a proper bed.
Just
It's
when
just
you
for,
want to get
when you've had a little too
drunk.
much.
Yeah.
No, if I want to get blackout drunk, I want to fall asleep in my fucking bed.
We're not letting you have that. We're not letting you have anywhere near that much alcohol in the main house.
Yeah.
Fair.
Oh, hey, Max, can I put in a request? The room request for the bunker. I would like to request a tabletop gaming room.
Oh yeah, a whole room set aside for war games. Yes. Yeah.
Every
Like-
war game.
Like, listen, I know a dude. He makes dope custom battlefields.
I imagine, yeah. No, there are some people
Listen,
out there. Yeah.
He does such a good job that the U.S. military employs him to make them for their war games.
I believe it.
Oh. Wow.
I believe it.
Damn.
What the fuck? What the fuck is this? Glory to the Emperor. The men and women of the 49th Court Hashtarim rifles find themselves fighting for their lives against an unknown Xenos species. Will they stand fast and triumph, or will the bell of lost souls toll for them?
Bell wouldn't tell
Bell.
for them anyway.
Well, I mean, yes, the bell won't tell for them anyway, but definitely the bell.
Yeah, probably the bell. Yeah.
Definitely the bell because they're guardsmen.
Wh-
Unless they're
Um,
Kriegers.
Wouldn't that be like absolutely horrifying in 40k? It's like, oh, so we discovered a new alien species.
Oh no.
They kind of do that on
Oh, yeah,
a
no,
sentry
Max,
basis.
Okay, so the TLDR on the Rogue Traders. The Rogue Traders were some of the people who originally explored the galaxy. So the Emperor gave them special papers that say you're allowed to have your own warships and, depending on the warrant of trade, your own actual independent warship fleet. You're the only people allowed to trade in Xenos artifacts. But we do strictly control which ones. And your job is to find new places for humanity to settle. What if there are aliens there? Make
That's why
sure
you
that
had the
humanity
fleet.
can settle it.
That's why you had the fleet.
What aliens?
Rogue traders typically are a nation unto themselves. Oh, within the Imperium.
Any competent,
then.
any competent rogue trader.
The only people that rogue traders have to answer to are the High Lords of Terra, which basically never happens.
And whenever
And
they run into the
Inquisitors.
Inquisition. Yeah, that's to say, whenever they run into the Inquisition.
I'm going
Which
to
is
guess
why-
that one happens a lot more often.
Yes!
It happens less than you think, but more than it should.
No, less than you think and more than they want.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, Rogue Trader, I want you to tell me, why did you think putting on the Xeno armor was a good plan? Well, it's good armor.
Because I watched the Xenos shrug off Chaos Marine bolters.
Yeah, it was good armor. Okay, interesting. And at what point did you realize that every time you were shot, it was slowly taking over your body? Around the time that it took over my body. Interesting.
Around the 60th shot that I took from a las cannon.
Las Cannon shot number 62.
Specifically, it was
62.
actually the 67th las cannon shot that I lost control of the body. But that was also because I was shot rapidly between 60 and 67.
I may have lost the exact count.
Don't
We got
worry, I can
Monstrous,
still talk.
a Warhammer Fantasy AU self-insert, and this is the title.
Oh, but
by the
also
way.
I do want to point out, if they find the super cool Xenos armor
Yeah.
and they're their tech priests, which, by the way, the dumping ground for radical tech priests is
rogue traders.
Rogue trader ships.
Ah.
If they deem that it's not going to, turn them into some kind of Xenos freak, and their priest says that it's not going to make them worship chaos, they are just allowed to keep it as an artifact of the house for all time.
And not even the Inquisition can say, hey, you have to get rid of it.
Well, they can. It won't be legal, but in space, legality is a matter of who calls it in. So.
Who fires first?
Yeah. I have alcohol and brownies.
then.
I'm happy. You know what? I also have alcohol and brownies, and I'm fairly happy myself.
I have alcohol and no brownies.
I could really go with some brownies now.
Yeah.
I have neither.
Yeah.
So we got
you, Aura.
Monstrous, this is gonna be our last Warhammer story for the night, so we can move on from here.
Because
Monstrous.
unfortunately, we haven't even found one worth reading to mock.
Honestly, yeah, pretty much. I mean, some of these are just really cringe. Love Can Bloom, an adventure romance Warhammer story.
That's
isekai.
actually a very well written, and that's actually very popular, Sneaky.
No, it's not.
No, because this person's ripping off the original story. The original story is actually pretty well written.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, yeah, no, this is a rip. Yeah, okay. Nope.
You know the elf witch lady from Dawn of War. I don't remember. Is it 1 or 2, Gray?
Technically, she's part of both of them. It's mostly 2 and 3.
Anyway, so the point is, she's supposed to die at the end of, was it 2? And then they brought her back in 3 for some reason. Anyway, she's supposed to die, but this is as
died in Dark Crusade.
That's it. As she's about to die, the Vindicare, who has been sent to hunt her down, he's the 1 in a million Vindicare, because it does occasionally happen that they break their programming, and this one's like, I have watched you fight horrible, horrible things. I feel really bad for you. I'm not going to let you get murdered.
Right.
And like I said, it's actually pretty well written.
Alright, so that was a bad
it's not
example.
Like a shitty smut story.
Point being, though, it's a romance story in the 40k universe. Complete version of the infamous TG 1D4chan fanfiction Love Can Bloom. I'm not the writer of this. I'm simply putting it on the website so it may be enjoyed. Cringe. It's still cringe. It's cringe at the reposting it here.
Yeah, just go read the green text. It's not like it's hard to find.
Yeah. So anyway, we got Monstrous. The author put in their title Warhammer Fantasy AU self-insert. So.
My name is Felix Rager. Totally not taking the place of Felix.
Picture an untamed wintry wilderness, a place where spindly tall evergreens dot the landscape. You're just describing Vermont right now, man. A deep ravine lay there where 2 ice-capped mountain ridges oppose each other. Still describing Vermont. So tall were these ranges that the observer would have to strain their necks to the point of discomfort to see their peaks. You're still just describing Vermont, and you have yet to explain what this self-insert OC is monstrous for.
Either Vermont or Norway, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
True, but I feel like I'm more likely to find dwarves in Norway. Real dwarves,
you know what?
By the
That's
way.
a fair point. You probably would find dwarves in Norway. We got one on the voice chat right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, fuck you. Real cool. Really cool, buddy.
Everyone was thinking it.
Yeah, aren't you just the funniest man alive?
To be fair,
just
because we were thinking it doesn't mean we said it.
Yes.
Yeah, Sneaky did, though.
Yeah, I did.
Well, that's because Sneaky's a bigger asshole than you.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
So I did want to shit. I did want to read one crossover section. I'm struggling. Oh yeah, Don Machi crossovers.
Oh god.
Those are always trash.
I come back
Um,
after a couple minutes, and Tension is saying something about dwarf Norway.
He's making fun of
Ignore that.
Norway.
I'm making fun of
Yeah.
Arn.
Oh,
I'm
Whatever.
saying Atin said he's more likely to find dwarves in Norway, and I said, yeah, we got one in our chat right now.
That was a reference. Yeah, see, I was making a reference to Norse mythology.
Yeah, and I was making fun of Arn
Yeah.
because I'm a master of segues. Right. So Don Machi. Shit, this is one of those stories where they have the Japanese name first.
Fuck.
oh joy.
Alright, so I'll do control find. Dungeon. Yeah, here we go. Danmachi. Only 800 stories. I feel like it's only 800. Wow. 800 stories and half of them are porn. Why am I not
mean-
surprised?
Yeah.
I was gonna say because Hestia exists, obviously.
You know what? Hestia is actually one of the few characters that'll ever allow someone to call a legal lolly.
Yeah.
Okay, why? Why her specifically?
Because she is a lolly. And since she's existed since the dawn of man, she's very legal.
Honestly, pretty much anyone she picks, it's illegal for her.
Yes. But
Yeah.
that's just gods in general, so it's really nothing new there.
Moot point.
I mean, Sneaky, just because it's not new doesn't make it right. Stop adult grooming from gods.
Stop
I mean-
god grooming.
Look, if you want to stop grooming from gods, you got a major problem in Danmachi. They go around calling all of the people that swear loyalty to them children. And they refer to them as their children.
And they still bang them anyway.
And they still bang them anyway. To be fair though, a lot of lore around gods banging each other.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, listen. Like,
Bell
I'd be like,
the
so
gunslinger.
these
Wait,
are
what
your
the
precious
fuck?
children,
Wait,
right?
Hold up. What?
Oh, the what?
A Danmachi D&D crossover. Bell the gunslinger. When Bell Carnal, there is no way his name is Carnal.
It's
Supposed to be
Crannel.
Crannel.
Yeah.
It's
Did
supposed
they-
to be like, it's like what, Cranell or something?
Yeah, it's Crane with an L, yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of
Okay,
spelling.
so
They-
I'm not
they-
drunk or crazy. Okay, well maybe I'm a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
I'm
Sneaky, the
not
guy
drunk or
misspelled
crazy.
his name
This
twice
dude
in
straight
summary.
up is spelling his name Bell Carnal. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no.
That.
Yeah.
Why does
I mean,
that
he
sound
also
like a porn
misspells it
parody?
one more time.
It's a porn
Because-
parody!
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Bell
Thank you.
Carnal was 14, his grandfather disappeared, and a group of bandits raided the village he lived near. With everything he knew destroyed and taken from him, a vision came to him in his dreams about a device like no other. A device that can get his revenge and achieve his dream, so Bell Carnal made his first gun.
For his neutral special, he wields a gun.
Okay.
Honestly, I want to see the story about an OC in Danmachi named Colt Winchester.
Sneaky, when was this published?
This was published February 13th.
Of this
Okay,
year.
I'm pretty sure this person just discovered Critical Role this year then.
Oh no.
Because that is the backstory for one of the characters in their first campaign. Lost
Ah.
everything, got visions of
Mm.
gun blueprint, started making it.
Yep.
So
I mean,
that gun
literally
might
just
also
was
come with a
real.
demon installed.
Uh-huh.
That wants
Okay.
him to kill very specific people. Like, and here's the problem, right? When Critical Role did it, they did it super well, and they did the reveal in a super slow, interesting way. And
Well,
obviously,
sure,
this
it's-
person's a dumbass.
It's
who's
Critical
not going
Role.
to do that.
It's a bunch of people that are actually good at acting. And, planning. They plan out all their fucking sessions.
Well,
It's surprising what
Okay,
competence
well,
will
no,
do.
they don't plan out the sessions
GM
per se.
does.
Yeah.
They
The
plan out.
GM knows where he wants to go. They
the
don't
GM
always
knows where he
obey.
wants to go. He knows how to accommodate his players being fucking idiots. And, like, he sits them down and is like, okay, what's your character? What do you want me to incorporate? Yo, the first gun is made by a dude who gets taught to make guns by a demon. I can work with that.
I mean, I poor Faceless. I feel so bad for Faceless because he always comes forward with all of these campaign ideas. He's like, all right, so guys, the idea for this campaign is you're gonna go around and do stuff and solve problems.
You'll go find the MacGuffin and save the world.
Yeah, you're gonna go find the MacGuffin and save the world, and I'm just like, yeah, here's my 3-page backstory to my character, and he's just like, fuck.
This is Donkey Kong.
Conky
You've
Dong.
written
No,
3 pages
that's
of
the best
backstory
part.
for Kong.
No, the best part to Conky Dong is his backstory is literally a single sentence long, and you don't know what it says. Because he's just
just
hooting
a
and
gorilla.
hollering. He's just hooting and hollering because he's a gorilla.
Oh,
He's just. I just wrote
so
down.
is that
"Ooh,
how you sent him the
Yeah,
backstory?
I said the backstory is ooh
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's very
character ahead
fucking
of time.
Yeah, I
Nice,
said
that
that
just
to him as my
gotta run
backstory, and he's like,
I have to run a tabletop
Okay.
with you at some point. Like,
I'd love to run a tabletop, even a one-shot.
oh,
I mean, Adam's read tabletops with me before, and the fucking charisma mancer, old man.
No! Here's the thing. Tabletop with Sneaky is a grand old time if you're prepared. Because here's the thing. Sneaky stuff is incredibly stupid, but because he plays it to the hilt, you can either do a stupid meme, and it will be fun, or because Sneaky's willing to play his stupid characters to the hilt, you can totally have fun with it. Like
Yeah.
when we made the drunk goblin alchemist who was going to help the drunk cavalier breathe fire.
Yeah, the goblin alchemist who believed that the advancement of alchemy was through alcohol.
that actually sounds pretty reasonable. I'm gonna be honest.
And then he found a cavalier whose order was all about getting drunk as shit to fight people. And he's like, I got
Also,
a
there was
proposition
some
for you.
mild anti-racism in that. Like, the goblin was getting beat up for being a goblin, and the drunk guy was like, yo, everybody sit down, have a drink, be friends. And the goblin was like, I can work with this.
Yeah, for once I didn't make a mad bomber goblin. I literally just made a goblin that wanted to fucking do bootleg moonshine.
What do you mean?
Like,
for
the goblin was like,
once?
I am gonna
You've
make
done
the
this
best
multiple times.
Yes.
Goblins
Oh,
are
yes.
the best mad bombers.
Oh,
Well,
God.
he's being quite sincere when he says that because they literally have the mad bomber trait
Yeah,
as a racial trait.
yeah.
Why is that a trick?
Because they got extra bombs.
No, Max, it's not a trait. We have to be very specific. It's a racial trait.
Faceless has just given up. Yeah, no, yeah, that's the best part. Is so I enter the first campaign with Faceless as a very intricate, long backstory, multi-page backstory, where my character's motivation is, he was a simple man. He was a thug. He was a thug, and he recognized that. But through his life, in it being a thug, he eventually met a woman, and he loved her, so he gave up and settled down. And then he ended up one day.
Did he trade in his Adidas tracksuit?
Yeah, he traded in his Adidas tracksuit. They got a little farm going near a river in an uninhabited area, and they were content to just live out the rest of their lives. Being known as that he doesn't die of old age. His species doesn't die of old age, and he met a human bard.
Mm.
No, they didn't produce crossbreeds.
Good.
But what ended up happening is that he one day, because so Faceless had a whole bunch of characters your character could meet as part of their backstory to, help with plot hooks along the line. So one of the plot hooks was that I met a to-be mafia boss in the future. So I met a guy that in the future would become a mafia boss. And so I wrote his backstory effectively, where my character is one day getting water from the river, and this is all in the backstory, by the way. This is not even in the game. And I found the guy washed up, bleeding out, and so took him back to the farm, healed him up, took care of him, and he's, he made the whole like mafia promise of like, I will treat you well. This kindness will not be forgotten, etc., right? And ultimately what happened was that this guy spread the words about this dude's home being a safe place to be, when you're running from the law and shit. And ultimately, a town basically sprung up around him as a trading post because merchants started going there because people would buy their wares there for no questions asked, etc. And so adventurers started going there and dropping off their kids there to be like, look, I'm going to go out and kill this fucking dragon, but I'm probably not going to come back, so, here's my kid. Make sure they don't become an orphan, effectively. And so, he built up this whole thing where eventually he became a town, or a hamlet, really. And he had a bunch of adventurers' kids there, and, he was unfortunately on the border of the racist human nation that was following not Christianity, filled with crusaders. And so one day a border patrol of crusaders came down and slaughtered the whole village.
You wrote this backstory when you were on your
No. I wrote this backstory a year or two ago.
This was the last campaign, not this one.
Yeah, this is the one with the
This is the
Garmin,
first campaign I ever had with Faceless, yeah.
Right. When you were running the Garmin-inspired character?
No,
right?
this was
No,
Dunev.
This was Dunev.
Oh.
Yeah.
Garmin is our second one.
And so basically, to finish up his backstory, is he gets slaughtered by the Crusader commander that he was fighting with a farming scythe because he's a farmer now. He's not a warrior anymore. Obviously dies. Except he's like, nope, I'm not fucking dying. Fuck you, I'm not dying, and gets back up anyway. Because that's the thing in this world. He's a revenants, yeah. He's a revenant. He's like, nope, fuck you, not dying. Proceeds to sell his soul to like 8 different parties.
He sold it to Odin. He sold it to like 2 demon gods.
Sold it to the Fae.
Oh, did he Skyrim this? Whoever wants my soul
the
has to
shit
pay
out
for
of
it.
this. And the best part is when a revenant's task is completed, their soul is obliterated.
So no one got
no
it.
one even gets the soul in the end.
Horrible.
Congratulations, you won the fight. Your reward is nothing.
Yes, actually. So, this campaign went on for like, what, a year and a half? And it was actually a very touching ending where I'm just like, in character, I'm like, my character's apologizing to his wife effectively as he's disintegrating because he finally defeated. He not only did he unite the world against the Central Empire, which is Faceless's Christian Crusader Empire. So not only did he unite the world against this Crusader Empire, they won. And they killed the god, which was corrupted by chaos, because Faceless is desperately trying to fit in his original plotline. Because my character completely hijacked it. Even though I told Faceless multiple times I have no problem writing up a new character, because my character was a Revenant, which means he was solely focused on anything that would hurt Central.
The thing with Faceless, and this is I've noticed a lot, he doesn't like killing the player characters unless it is absolutely necessary.
He desperately tried to save Bayo, but Bayo was like, no, I shall die today.
That man died like 7 times
Allah
and
willing,
kept
I
being
will enter later.
reincarnated. He started as a cat guy, and then he somehow became a cat demon after becoming a fae twice. And he was also a mouse at one point.
He was also a female winged elf at
Yes.
one point. Yeah.
How does this work?
What in the
Reincarnation is a wild drug, man.
Explain this, liberals.
The druid was only useful because he kept alive the money bank.
Yeah. But yeah, Dunev was a great character. And then, so, for the next campaign, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something a lot simpler, a lot more linear, and a little bit more flexible. I'm gonna write an old man. He's looking for his last battle. And wherever that last battle takes him, he has a whole end goal of I really hope I can find some sort of lost technology to help my nation and make me go down in history. But what he's really searching for in the end was his last battle. And again, Gurman kind of just hijacked the campaign, low-key.
Oops.
Didn't help that Faceless built the campaign around my character, who is just a zealot.
Yeah.
That seems like a hard thing to build a story around.
It was, and so it didn't work. And
that's
just
why
being about...
the campaign stopped in the end, because all of his stuff was on that.
All of his stuff was about Sika, but Sika was dead and lost to the astral plane, so we couldn't even revive him.
Yeah, and I just got fucked entirely from every session.
And so, I'm like, okay, so, also there was, at one point we did a little intermission campaign between Gurman and Duna. We did an intermission campaign while I was playing Alexandros! Where, he was a Hercules fan. He was a Greek demigod campaign.
Oh yeah, that one where I had the warlock that had net 0 stats.
Yeah, and Alexandros was not only did he get great stat rolls, he was just a hilariously great character. Literally ran around in trousers, no armor. He was a monk, of course he was. Oiled, maximum strength possible in the game. Heard of Hercules, and literally every single time he got into a fight, he tried to recreate any of Hercules' tasks to just be like, I'm gonna try and be like my hero, effectively.
Okay then.
Alexandros was probably one of the best ones.
At one point, he convinced one of the big bads that we were supposed to fight to fight him one-on-one, and even give Alexandros the first shot because of how utterly outclassed Alexandros was. I proceeded to stun lock him and punch him to death.
Yeah, seems about right.
And Faceless was just like,
It was just that kind of thing.
So that's why for this campaign that Faceless has lost control of once again, is he wanted to do this whole murder mystery campaign. But then fucking Orpheus and I roll up with Conky Dong and Technoblade.
Of course.
I'm kind of really glad that the one time I ran a game, I had the guys sit down and make characters first, and then built my story around these characters and trying to get them to meet up.
Okay, so that's actually... Yeah, this fucking party. Crit. Conky Dog, it's time for your turn. Crit. Nat 20, let's go!
Yeah.
It's time for Conky Dog's turn. What will he nat 20 on this time?
Just the Sneaky Devil style.
But no, that's actually what the next campaign is gonna be. I did approach the entire D&D crew, and then I approached Faceless on it once I got the D&D crew's majority agreement. Next campaign is going to be a BattleTech campaign. Where we're all gonna play we're all gonna be playing D&D crafting classes from the various books he has, and our campaign goal is to recover BattleTech schematics to build BattleTech mechs to fight people with. So we'll see how that goes. Now that Faceless knows exactly what our party's gonna do.
Maybe now he can write a coherent story.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's actually very funny because our party is like this. I wouldn't say murder hobo. Because we don't go out of our way to kill people. It just ends up that way.
Well, there was the first episode, or the first session of Greekland, where Birdo decided, hey, there's a temple here. I'm going to fireball it.
That's just because he was a new player and he didn't really understand that there was more to D&D besides attacking people.
Yes.
So I wouldn't exactly call our party a murder hobo party. We're just combat prone. And he's running a secondary party, and usually the worlds we're also in, so he basically can just reuse campaign stuff. He runs a second party, however, with a bunch of girls that want his dick.
The bed girls.
The bed girls.
And they end up being this really RP Ocean's 11 heavy party, no matter what their setting is. But it's like Ocean's 11 crossed with Monty Python with how much they fuck up at the same time.
Ah yes, we're going to go into the Fae Court and steal an object for somebody. We have fucked up with Nat 1s and Nat 20s galore. It is impressive how absurd their stuff is. It rivals our own at times.
So, the story I ignored to read Bell the Gunslinger, because obviously guns, I saw the word gun, and I'm like, oh, I want to read that more. So the story I ignored in favor of reading Bell the Gunslinger is Moon-Haired Hunter. Before he even had the opportunity to become an adventurer and pick up girls in a dungeon, Bell was killed on his journey to Aurario. Instead of going into the afterlife, he was summoned into the hunter's dream to become a hunter. After conquering the world of Bloodborne, he returns to the world of Danmachi and travels to Aurario as a changed man.
I came just in time to hear absolute dog shit.
Yeah, one chapter, 400 words.
Maybe they realized their idea was awful and they should stop.
This dude and this story has fucking 21 favorites. 400 words and 21 favorites, like bruh.
Did they get rid of the first chapter and leave an author's note, or is it just 400?
Literally the first chapter is just an author's note. The first chapter is straight up just an author's note.
Is the author's note, I've stopped writing because everyone's told me I'm dumb?
No, the author's note is, here are his weapons, here what he'll look like, he's gonna be super OP, he's not gonna be OP though, guys, but he's gonna be super OP, and he's like, alright, I want people to leave reviews telling me whether he should have infinite lives because he's still connected to the Hunter's Dream. I mean, if he's still connected to the Hunter's Dream, that's like very specific because that's like only one ending, right?
Technically that's 2.
Well, the Gurman replacement ending just makes him Gurman, so he wouldn't be able to leave the Hunter's Dream. The only way he leaves the Hunter's Dream is if he was...
Still technically an ending.
Well, yeah, but this is supposed to be... The plot's supposed to be he goes to Bloodborne, beats Bloodborne, and then comes back to Aurario, which means he needs to be able to leave the Hunter's Dream, which means he can't be restrained into a wheelchair in the workshop.
Yeah.
which means he can't have the Gurman replacement ending, and he can't have the execution ending.
Yeah, the only way that would work is if you take the Moon Presence ending and it's like, cool, I'm gonna use my new god powers to reincarnate myself back to my old world.
Yeah.
That's the only ending that would allow that. Because you can't leave, if he leaves the Hunter's Dream,
Wait, the Yharnam
dead.
Sunrise ending. Wait, what?
that's when you leave the dream.
That's when you leave
That's
the
when you get
dream.
executed,
So
right?
yeah, so you wouldn't
Yeah.
be part of the dream. Therefore,
Yeah, so then he dies anyways because he's dead in his world. He can't take that ending.
Oh, so he would do the yarn. Wait, what? Wow, dude! Oh my God, he's really doing this. Okay, so basically, he's gonna New Game Plus.
Oh.
So what his lore for Bell is that Bell ends up doing the Yharnam Sunrise ending, and then New Game Pluses, and does the Moon Presence ending to leave the world of Bloodborne. And then he straight up says, Bell won't be OP despite being a fucking outer god. I mean, admittedly,
Boy. Okay.
Bell won't be
a
OP.
child outer god. A child outer god.
Okay,
Which
yes,
is still
but listen.
capable of rending reality.
Listen.
oh,
That
yes,
would
I
make
summoned a scar.
really listen. This whole concept, like, set up this
Yeah.
whole massive elaborate backstory
Yeah.
for a like 1,000 word short story of the first time Bell gets his what is the story thing called?
Falna.
Yeah, the first time he gets his Falna looked at.
God. Skills. God. What?
Killed God. Replaced God.
Skill,
Yeah,
outer
that-
god.
In fact, he would actually be a serious problem for the game that the gods play in Aurora. It's like,
Yes.
oh, it's another god that we never heard of and isn't limited to 1/10 of their power like we. Oh god. Oh fuck. Oh no.
Skill, god eater.
Yeah, literal god eater.
Oh.
Also, so there was a story called a Balm and Gilead or whatever it was called by Argentorm. Argentorm, amazing author. Unfortunately, he doesn't update a lot of his stories anymore because he's doing a lot of original work now. Which I say unfortunately
for
because a
him.
lot of I say unfortunately because I'm not really interested in his original work. It's some sort of isekai OC, not self-insert, but isekai OC. Generic fantasy world. Apparently it's decent, but I'm just not interested in it. I was more interested in he had some really creative original ideas for post Golden Morning Taylor from Worm, which is the only Taylor that I really want to read these days because it's the only Taylor that really matters because it means you can just skip all of Worm and just have Taylor doing shit in other worlds, which is cool.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about how to handle a Leviathan fight anymore.
Right, exactly. And one of them was called Balm and Gilead. And now, obviously, with her defeat of Scion, effectively, she killed a space god. Effectively. You know, there's a threshold of power where it's like, yeah, you're effectively a god. And so she goes into Don Machi, she gets a Falna, and one of her skills is just straight shit God Slayer, and her god's just like, what?
What did you do?
What the fuck?
That's a fair reaction.
And it's like, yeah, what? That's fair enough. And there's another one. This is the Tanya one that Arn has read. The Tanya Donmachi crossover, where because with the Falna, the gods are capable of seeing their lives of their quote unquote children.
Yep.
And Tanya's first god, Loki, was like, all right, well, I want to investigate my child, so I'm going to see her history, and it's just like, imagine you're a god, right? And the most experience with warfare you have is Roman legions fighting other Roman legions and monsters, right? That's your war experience. And then someone proceeds to show you I literally can't make this up, this is all factually true, World War II invasion, Normandy D-Day, let's go. And it's Loki was justifiably like, holy shit.
Was that the only thing Loki reacted to for that?
I mean,
I feel like seeing a creator being like being X would
no,
also be
basically
worthy of like what the fuck.
she got Tanya's allegiance early on, at least, by promising that she was gonna help beat up being X, because in this Fusion World AU, being X is a rogue god from Tenki in the Danmachiverse who went off and is fucking around with shit in other worlds, and all the other gods know about it.
Yep.
You know what? That actually sounds kind of interesting. Too bad it's dead.
It's semi-dead. Unfortunately, the author did start a new.
Yeah, it's not
story.
dead. It just hasn't updated in a few days.
Well, like I said, it's semi-dead, so the author is updating it, but his focus is on his new Danmachi story.
Yeah.
I'd still like a link. I'll read it.
Yeah, no, it's honestly pretty good.
Yeah, I'll drop you a link. Give me a sec.
Thank you.
Also, this is just so freaking cringe. Basically, Bal Crano will be more powerful than he was at the start of the series, so literally anything is more powerful than him. But he won't be OP enough to derail any of canon plot.
Well, A, that's dumb. B, I want to point out a literal fucking stormtrooper would be more powerful than Bell at the start of the story.
Now, see, Bell is surprisingly one of the few characters that I won't get hard ass on about, like, oh, you wanted to be a hero, you didn't train at all. Like, I say that pretty often with fair amounts of stories. But Bell is actually one of the few kinds of characters that I won't say that about, because Bell's history with this is he was basically brainwashed by his grandfather, which may or may not be Zeus.
Okay, Sneaky, 90% chance they're Zeus.
Yes. Yeah. I know. But he was basically brainwashed to just think about being a hero. Like, he didn't have the Shiro realization that to save a girl in the dungeon, a girl would have to be in danger in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Laura. I know it's Zeus. I was trying to be spoiler free. But anyway, point being is that Bell was specifically raised to think that all he has to do is go to Aurario, join a familia, and become super cool and save all the girls and get all the pussy. Like, he was specifically raised to think like that. So I can actually excuse him for thinking like that.
Yes.
Yep.
I have drunk half of this bottle of vodka.
Excellent.
Yes. Also, when will my Aquavit show up, Arn?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't have the money for it.
And you know what? That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you're a college student. There are plenty of ways for you to earn money. Most of them aren't, but...
What the shit is this? Also, in this story, he will not have a Liaris freeze, but he will still have a way to grow at accelerated rate.
Is he bringing the doll with him? Is that what's happening here?
No, Max. He has a Sight of Grace and Waves of Gold.
Oh, okay. So Liar, I thought he was gonna say. Okay. So the reason why I was laughing so hard was because I thought this author was trying to say laissez-faire.
Oh no.
No, pretty sure he's referring to the
Liaris freeze is actually
Bell's stupid I grow fast.
Yeah, his broken as hell I grow fast ability. Yeah.
I mean, freeze with a Z instead of an S though. how the fuck he managed to do that one, I don't know. But,
He still fucked it up either way.
Yeah.
But I just thought he was fucking up a different set of words.
exactly.
But anyway.
I'm sorry, I'm
Um,
still.
yeah.
This is a new game plus Outer God Bell. Like
Yeah.
he'll it's from Bloodborne, no less.
Yeah.
Bloodborns are freaks of nature.
Yeah.
He'd be coming in as
doesn't
at
need
minimum
to
a
grow.
mid-level 2. Minimum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not only that, I mean, even if he was a newborn outer god, and he basically foregoed his development of Great One-like abilities to manipulate reality in exchange for incarnating, because it wouldn't be reincarnating because he's not losing his body, incarnating himself back into Aurario. So even if even if you like, that's the excuse as to why he doesn't have any outer god abilities. He would still be extremely skilled in pretty much every weapon category.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Because hunters use basically anything they can get their hands on.
Yeah, like hunters.
And I stab a wolf with this, I'm gonna use it.
The hunters who made groups were looked at as sort of like freaks of nature for deciding I'm going to do this one weapon and that's it.
Yeah.
Because like the best hunters all were sort of jacks of all trades.
Yeah.
Learn a little bit of everything.
More like masters of all trades, but yeah. And that was the problem when the hunters inevitably went insane. Now you're fighting this guy who is literally just like, I know how to use every weapon, and even though I'm fucking batshit insane, I'm still good at it. And it's like, fuck.
That might have been an
so
interesting.
good.
Oh, that would have been an interesting fight in like a graveyard. Like he's got 4 different phases where he just starts swapping between weapons on the ground.
Oh no.
That might have been fun.
So what you're saying is you would like a Bloodborne fight in the style of the last boss of Dark Souls 3.
Yes, but I want him to I want his weapon switching to be he chucks the current weapon at you for extra damage and goes to pick up another one while you're recovering.
Okay, now I will
Also,
admit that would have been beyond badass if the entire plane for that Dark Souls 3 fight, if he wasn't just changing his weapon in his hand, if he was literally picking it up off the ground, that would have been maximum cool.
Oh yeah. Like starts out with the katana doesn't work, throws the katana off, runs over to a staff.
But like not only that though, but there's not like some sword changing shape, but it's straight up just the item in the game at maximum, refinement level.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what the field is. It's like all around you is just all of the weapons in the game, just impaled into the ground. It's like that,
or at least one of every category.
Yeah, that would also that would also add more like a warrior's graveyard. Like these are the weapons of people who died to him.
Yeah, exactly, right? That would have been like so fucking cool. I understand why they didn't do that.
Here's the best excuse for why
keep
switching them.
Yeah, that also would have required massive AI overhaul.
Massive AI programming. Yeah, that would have been understandably why they didn't do it, but
would that have happened in Elden Ring? Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe that'll be in a DLC.
Here's an upgrade to this idea.
Yeah.
The exact same idea, except every weapon is made by TDR.
So what, Elden Ring?
Yeah, Elden Ring.
No,
I've always liked fights like that when they do them in anime, though.
Dodge! What?
Sneaky. Sneaky. The true best version. Patches is selling him a different weapon every time.
Still, that was
just
absolutely
wearing one of the
like you
cloaks.
cannot say that was possibly the best, most enjoyable boss fight we've ever had. Where you're just like, he missed me. I'm like, no, Atin, dodge.
Oh, that was amazing. It was
the boss did
it
the
was-
lightning stick where he stabs the ground in front of him and the lightning shoots down from the sky, and Atin's like, "Ha! I dodged the lightning stick!" And me over here looking up in the sky, seeing all the lightning appear.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the first time that move popped up, I think I was the only one in my group to survive because I just kept the shield. It's like, I don't trust this. Yep.
And then Atin was busy running away that one time, and he changes to the staff and starts doing the laser beam motion, which I know because I play Sorcerer. And I'm just like, "Oh no, I dodge!" He's like, "What?"
the best part was he just kept it aimed at Sneaky. He knew who the wizard was.
Honest to God, that Dark Souls 3 still is the best final boss of any Dark Souls.
That was such an amazing
Yeah.
boss. It truly
Like-
was an amazing
Well, okay,
boss.
but here's the thing, right? That boss is much less amazing if it's your first time playing Dark Souls 3.
Yes,
It
okay,
was still
that's...
amazing.
No,
Okay,
I'm
in
not saying
term-
it's not amazing.
If
I'd
you're-
say it's
If
still
you...
the best, but the history behind it is lost on you.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm
If
saying,
this
right?
is your first time to
It
Dark Souls,
hits
you don't really
different.
understand why it's so cool.
Yeah, like the gameplay is cool.
Yeah.
If you don't have the history of Dark Souls, it's just a rule of cool fight. If you do have, there's just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
I remember this flip.
Yeah. So,
Well,
oh
like,
no,
right-
he's going katana! What do you mean he's going slice?
Right? And of course, it's one of those things like, if you don't, like, if
Yeah,
you pay
yeah.
even mild attention to the lore of Dark Souls, that's
Yeah.
what really makes it hit home, because you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh.
Well,
Right?
honestly,
And then, of course, Phase
the-
2.
The end of the world was just a homage to people that played Dark Souls, period. Like, if
Oh,
you have
gosh,
played
yeah, that
Dark
last
Souls
DLC
and you got
was-
to the end of the world, not even Ring City, if you just got to the end of the world and you're like, oh.
Just ending the game was great.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Sneaky and I
Then
were
Ring
having
City,
a blast.
Ring City was just like, oh.
Yep.
Right? And, like, as dumb as it is, Patches is there, and you're like, of course, it's this piece of shit.
This man who has been with us
Did I
since
orgasm?
before
No.
Dark Souls is ending Dark Souls with us.
Yeah,
and
right.
Then he survived past Dark Souls. The bastard.
He is Patches the Unchained.
Untethered.
Untethered. Whatever,
Yes.
same thing, basically.
The Dark Soul.
This man wants to live so hard, he said, fuck reality, I'm finding a new one.
Well, it's not even that
He's
he wants to
done
live
this
so
3
hard.
times now.
Well, the thing is, it's not even that he wanted to live so hard. It's that with all of reality and how reality operates in every reality that he's lived in, he has just rejected everything that has caused the downfall of everyone else. He just wants to live. He's not seeking immortality. He's not seeking power. He just
You know
wants
what?
to live.
He and Torchwick would get along swimmingly.
Yes.
Yeah.
A Ruby one-shot. Hey, kid, there's some
Oh,
really
good luck
cool
on Hexen,
weapons
man,
down
yeah.
there.
Good luck on Hexen. That's a fucking hard ass game. So I will recommend this following story. It's by Deore. This is his 4th book. I say book with air quotes because he's written way more than a fucking book. So, he's got he's got 4 books, quote unquote, out. But his first book is 5 books long. His second book is 10 books long. His third book is
Oh.
5 books long.
Alright, I don't think he understands what a book is.
Well, it's more like overarching arc, I guess you could call it, to better describe it. He originally at first called it a book. So, yes, the original book was also very questionable. Am I a girl in the dungeon? People are ever the playthings of the gods. When a middle-aged man's boredom reaches a level even the gods notice, he now finds himself in Aurario, naked and female. The story starts a short time before Hestia herself descends, and I hope to keep true to the main plot. And the guy does a lot of research, and he actually writes quite a good story. His second book crosses over into DxD. His third book brings it back to Danmachi, having been in DxD. And his fourth book is now Gate.
No.
Oh boy.
And it's following the same character. And it's actually interesting. It's fairly good. He's a fairly decent writer. Obviously the spag is amazing in terms of periods, commas, usage, writing in general. It's actually very high quality. I won't say the topics always interest you, and I won't say every chapter is a plot-based interesting masterpiece. But especially now that it's a completed story, you don't really have to wait for him to update to get to the next chapter. And I will say the chapters flow quite nicely into each other as well. So definitely now that he's got roughly 2 million words down, I would definitely say if you're looking for something to read in the fan fiction category, this is not a bad author to read stuff from. That is, of course, if you're interested in his
Danmachi.
premise. Yeah. I can't really speak a lot about the Danmachi sections of his story because obviously I only know really Danmachi through fanfiction, and the general gist of the episodes because I sort of watched the episodes, but I didn't really ever pay attention to them. They were okay.
They were inoffensive.
Yeah,
They existed.
they existed. Yeah.
The book is better, but not by like
Mm.
yards, you know.
I mean, I'm gonna give Danmachi this. It's definitely one of the better underdog stories
Yeah.
to come out from light novel land.
Yes.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a decent underdog story, except for the one problem where the author directly addresses the inherent issue in their system, and the whole hero's journey problem of it. Because the hero's journey is the hero is supposed to become powerful over the course of the journey that you directly read, but the system that they're operating under is supposed to be over the course of several years the hero is supposed to become powerful, but that's not good narratively. And so the author gives Bell the Zarius freeze skill to make them excuse their rapid growth to match the hero's journey, to make it an interesting to read story, while simultaneously trying to excuse the system that they're operating under, which does devalue my enjoyment of the series quite a bit due to the whole
How quickly things happen.
well, not only how quickly things happen, but also the fact that the author made a system that they then later realized they would have to circumvent the system to continuously tell a good story.
See, my
Yeah.
problem with that isn't strictly speaking Bell's accelerated growth. It's the problem of right? His name is not Kirito. He is not going to conquer the dungeon
Mhm.
alone. He
Mhm.
obviously needs friends and comrades and allies.
Right.
But you've now given right when Bell was underpowered, there was no issue. He
Right.
was just rapidly approaching the level of his friends.
Right.
But now, right, you're getting to the point where Bell is either caught up to or slightly surpassing some of his allies, and that's
Right.
not going to slow down,
Right.
right? It's especially problematic because obviously, right, it's an MMO. Going from level 1 to level 20, nobody cares. Going from level 20 to level 40 is hours.
Right, but if you somehow do level 20 to 40 in the same speed you did 1 to 20, and then you
But
do
no one
40
else
to 60 in the same speed you did 1 to 20, and yeah, it quickly becomes a unfortunate case of at which point does this skill stop, quote unquote, working. And the answer is you didn't cap it.
Yeah. He specifically left it uncapped. So long as the user has a strong
Yeah.
desire, they get extra experience.
Well, I
Which,
was gonna
I
say,
mean, yeah,
right now
yeah.
the cap is I'm horny for what's her face.
Eyes.
Yeah,
Eyes,
he
yeah.
wants to get to her level.
Which is which is fairly along the adventure line, yes, but also at the same time, obviously Otter's always going to be a problem. There's always going to
But
be
yeah,
more threats to.
Otar had an interesting reveal too. It's like, why are all these level 6 adventurers scared of him? Turns out he's a level 7, and he's the
Yeah.
only person. I think they explicitly state he's the only person to have ever exceeded level 6, at least in the records.
No, he's not the only person, I believe, but he's like the only person that's currently, alive.
He's
to
the
have
only
done
level 7 currently alive.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a problem.
Yeah.
He is the level 7. That's
And as in
alive.
Danmachi, it established that with each level, the difference between levels becomes exponential. So the difference
Yeah,
between 0 and 1 is small. The difference between 1 and 2 is a little bit larger. The difference between 2 and 3 is a little bit larger. The difference between 3 and 4 is larger. The difference between 5 and 6, is massive. The difference between 6 and 7 is even larger than that.
Yeah, I think during the reveal of his level, they're straight up like, you really want to deal with 3 level 6 adventurers? He's not even scared. It's like, honestly, I don't feel like wasting the time on you. Implying they all know he'd win.
Yeah.
They're just delaying him for a few minutes.
Yeah, there's been at least 4 level 7s canonically, and there might be at least 2 level 7s alive currently. Yeah, like I said,
Okay.
I haven't
I
been
mean,
keeping too up to date, but I do keep slightly up to date when it comes to
Yeah.
Danmachi, because
haven't read it in a
Danmachi is
while.
another one of those scenarios that I actually prefer the crossovers of more than I prefer the straight stories of, because the straight stories are just, unless it's like this guy who's doing a really highly detailed OC. Straight stories aren't that great. Because it's all just Bell. Bell, but he's stronger. Bell, but he's stronger. Bell, but he's stronger. But it's like Bell's already going to be fucking ridiculously strong.
Yeah. What if I want to see Wealth, but he's stronger?
Wealth, but
that?
he's not a bitch and actually creates magic swords.
No, he does eventually get over that.
I know he eventually gets over that, but the
That
point
was his
being
entire
is that,
character arc when meeting
yeah.
Bell, in fact. But
level 8s and 9s also existed, but they're currently dead. Yeah.
okay.
Currently dead. Uh-oh. They
I've
will be
missed a
back.
lot in the 3 years I haven't read any new Danmachi novels then.
Yeah, like I said, I try to keep up on Danmachi a little bit because I do enjoy the crossovers. It's like I'm not gonna say it's the new Worm. It's sort of like Worm. It's sort of like Familiar Zero, where the crossover function of it makes it more interesting by just sheer factor of it not rehashing canon entirely, usually.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see the crossover potential there. Especially
Yeah.
with it's like, how does this person being there completely derail everything?
Havel shows up.
Alright, dungeon solved. Let's go home, everyone.
Why are you wearing stone armor? Protects me.
No,
Why do
why
you
are
hate
you
the
wearing
god?
stone
That-
armor?
Killed them.
Okay, you know what? That would possibly start an actual trend among lower level adventurers, though.
No, honestly, I would say it probably started a trend between high-level adventurers, because didn't we calculate out that Havel's armor was, like, actually several metric tons in weight?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember the math we did, but yeah, we sat there based on like how thick is this? Okay, this is probably made out of what the fuck was the
Titanite or
material?
rock?
Titanite. Yeah, we estimated it was probably made out of titanite, which was likely something between titanium and some sort of titanium alloy-esque thing.
Yeah.
And we started playing with the figure of that. It's like, Howl's carrying like 2.5 tons.
Yeah.
I see.
And
Also,
like,
the alternate
Havel's
answer for
carrying
Havel.
2.5 tons, and then the description of Havel's ring is that the reason why the rest of his regiment that follows him and copies him can carry the armor that Havel carries is because Havel takes on all of the weight of their armor on himself.
Yes.
And it's like, excuse me!
Because faith can be channeled to normal-ass humans through items as well.
Listen, I still think one of my personal favorites versions of the answer is, why are you wearing stone armor? Fucking hate magic.
Fucking hate magic, fucking hate dragons.
That's probably the entire reason
someone
he
needs
went
to
with
make the
Plus.
North Someone needs to make the North FC meme, but replace it with Havel. 8 dragons, 8 magic, 8
hates
Eight
sorcerers,
gods.
8
He hates magic
firebenders.
so
Not
much.
racist, just 8 them.
Yeah, he hated
Like
magic
me
so much. He
faith,
made magic
like-
barrier.
Like me stone, like me dragon tooth.
Hate me
Simple
dragons.
as.
The only good things about dragons are that their teeth make clubs.
Also, you gotta like consider that it's like, did Havel just straight shit rip that out of a dragon at some point?
I like to imagine
I
that.
can
Like,
only
I
imagine.
can only what were the armors thinking when he came in with it? It was like, make this something I can use. What? Make it something I can use.
And then the armor is just like, I guess I'll just hammer a grip on this fucking tooth or something.
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh, no, they didn't. No, they couldn't hammer anything onto it. If you take a look, they had to carve the handle out of the tip of the tooth.
Yeah.
That was the only thing they could do.
Yeah, like, but that's the other thing you gotta consider is like everything bursts into white light. Like it doesn't leave corpses behind, and that's almost canonical. Is that the only time something's ever left a corpse behind is when they've turned to stone. Like that's canonical in Dark Souls universe. Is that
Yes.
the only
Yeah.
time something leaves a corpse behind is when it turns to stone, which means
well,
that
no. It's things past a certain point turn in Puffaway. Like normal ass undead stick around. Don't forget, ragdoll was a thing. Rats, humanoids, they stick around. Anything past a certain
oh yeah.
roll
But like the
basically is what-
dragons themselves, they mystified. They
Yeah,
would
they-
vaporize.
they disappear. Well, but there's the opening cutscene with Seath, where he's
Yeah, but
standing on a corpse.
Yeah, okay, but Seath is a scaleless bitch.
Also
I
true.
guess the assumption should be that the dragons are literally disappearing into the nearest soul harvesting thing, which would be your undead sign.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's a good
That
point.
might be, okay. They might only disappear for undead, but regardless, there's some interesting implications.
Which I mean, yeah, the interesting implication is we don't exactly ever know when Havel got his undead sign because I mean he did go crazy.
Yeah, we know he hollowed. Well, okay, they claimed he hollowed, and
They
it's
claimed
still
he
a question-
hollowed, but we don't actually know if he did or not.
And
All we know
also,
is he's in a tower and he got locked in there by
No,
Leto.
we don't even know that's actually Havel.
that might have been one of his soldiers who just
Oh, that's
had
true.
who for some reason either got his tooth or a copy.
Yeah,
of it.
because in Dark Souls 1 that might have been Havel, but in Dark Souls 3 they canonized the fact that Havel's regiment also did everything that Havel did with the whole tooth and stone armor thing.
Yeah, and let's not forget, when we find a dude wearing Havel's armor, he's standing up in a dragon nest surrounded by 2 or 3 dragon corpses.
Which is pretty base.
And if that's one of his followers, is like, what the fuck is the actual Havel capable of then?
Which then leads me to say, like, I feel like at some point Havel was just like, I'm just gonna rip this tooth out of a dragon and turn it into a beat stick. It's like fucking hell, man.
Listen, I still think my favorite part of the Havel saga was when Havel decided that gods are just big human-shaped dragons.
Yeah, that was one of the interesting implications.
Yeah.
Like his armor's in a room was like, so I figured out how to put a cult onto a wooden stick. Why?
So
Because
I
the
figured out
gods
how
are
to
doing
kill
some weird
gods.
shit.
Like, excuse me, you what?
Hobble, no. And it's even more interesting because there are a lot of implications that Hobble was like trusted with Gwen and
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
trusted
yeah,
Gwen, and then it's
trusted.
like, then Gwen started going off deep, and Hobble's like, okay, maybe I should prep in case the gods become a problem for
I'll
humanity.
make a
as
secret
well.
room through a fireplace that'll contain the weapon that'll kill.
Well, and right? Here's the important thing. He found an occult weapon. That means at some point he at least sort of he found or made
it's sort of implied that he made it.
Yeah.
I wasn't finished. He found or made it, which means, because correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the occult branch of weaponry descend from Life Hunt Scythe, and that's why it can kill gods?
A little bit.
Actually,
not...
that might come from that, because part of the reason that Priscilla was locked away was one,
well,
she was
Life
feathered,
Hunt,
two,
because she could
Life
kill
Hunt
the gods,
could actually hurt the gods. Oh,
right, and it's
shit, Sneaky. There's every chance that our theory of Hobble and Priscilla getting along might be true then, because
actually,
shit.
You know what?
Hey, can I borrow that scythe?
This is more goddamn shit where I'm just sitting here lore fucking with various people. More shit Sneaky was right about.
It's like, I think they'd get along. Yeah, probably. And it's like, wait, she had the only thing capable of hurting the gods. He might have totally. He might have come into the painting a few times. Like,
we totally called it then, Max. We totally called it then. Hobble just straight shit is one of those people that's able to look at stuff and be like, oh, so that's how you do it, and then just proceeds to do it himself. And it's like, bruh.
Well, that's
that's not fair.
I mean, maybe this is just me, but it's not like it's a difficult leap because they tell you what Life Hunt Scythe is, and they tell you how a cult came to be, and it's like, oh,
right,
yes, clearly.
Right, but the problem is obviously Havel never had the chance to inspect the scythe. He never had a chance to like question Priscilla about her ability to kill gods.
He might have stolen research from Seethe for that as well.
He also was just straight up. Yeah, so we do have proof that because you get the Greater Magic Shield inside Seethe's library. He just straight up at one point was inside Seethe's library and was like, I'm just gonna fucking that's good. Yeah, that's good.
I do love that though. He hated magic so much. He made a barrier and was like, you know what, this isn't strong enough. Let's make it even better.
Let's make it better. Fuck magic.
He hated magic so much he created exactly one magic: the I hate magic.
This is the I hate magic.
I also like the idea because it's it is a sorcery, right? Yeah, it's a sorcery, right?
Yes.
Great magic barrier.
Yeah.
It's their faith. It's a miracle.
Oh, it's a miracle. Okay.
Yeah, it is a miracle. That actually would be the first. Oh, that would actually be the first entrance of miracles branching off then into different schools.
Just straight up, just like, I hate magic so much, I'm gonna learn about magic to counter magic?
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, you need to calm the fuck down.
Alright, Sneaky, if we ever get back to trying to finish up Scorched Earth, Shattersteel, we might need to have, like, an omake of, like, oh, Valkyrie, that note's wrong, you want to do this variable instead. It's like, wait,
what?
How do you know that?
Oh, I hate magic.
No, no, it should be something even better than that. She should be writing it down, fall asleep on it, and wake up, and just have, it's just the notes correcting it, and it's clearly in Havel's handwriting. You fixed all my math.
Also, that puts a whole new, honestly, actually, now that you think about that, right, and you think about the fact that Havel just straight up had his great bow set up outside of the church in Anne Orlando,
aimed at Seeds.
Pointed at Seeds. And now you think about this, right? You think about this. Seed was in a cavern underneath his facility.
Oh, there was a very good reason for that now that I think about it, yeah.
It's like, hold on a second, are you telling me Seed was actually scared so shitless by Havel that he's like, fuck it, I gotta hide this so deep underground?
I am putting this in a cave. Let's see him get an arrow in a cave.
To be fair, I would be scared of a man capable of ripping a tooth out of one of my brethren and using it as a weapon.
To beat more of my brethren to death.
With his own tooth.
Oh yeah, my entire regiment, several hundred guys, they all wear stone armor like me. Oh wow, you've trained them up to your level? Train? No, I just take on the weight for them. What?
That's still... God, Sneaky.
You what?
Did they specify what percentage, like, or is a hovel just like, I'll carry this whole load, Bob?
Okay, so
Hovel
Hovel's
is
ring
literally the mortal
specifically.
that walks up to Atlas and be like, "Yo, man, I got this."
Yeah, Hovel's ring specifically grants you 40% extra equip load.
Yeah.
Which means
and everyone was outfitted with Hovel's gear, so if we assume they were able to at least fat roll, that's a lot of fucking weight. Like that's a few.
The
I think that's a
description of
couple
the well,
hundred
not only that, the
tons.
description of Hovel's ring is straight up that the regiments wore his ring to basically allow Hovel to alleviate their burden of his armor.
Yeah. So take whatever the armor's weight is, cut that down to like 60%, and the remaining 40% is probably what went to Hovel if you go just off of gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
Just off of that.
which
And-
we have no
Because
choice but.
alleviating burden isn't the same as taking on the burden. It's just kind of helping it make it easier on you. But either way,
But then you got to think about it, it's like he did this to like at least a minimum of 100 people.
yeah. So at the very least, he was carrying probably a couple hundred tons of weight on himself.
And
The
this
whole
dude,
reason Hovel fat rolled was because he was carrying everyone else's armor.
well, no, you got to keep in mind that like I don't think he might have even fat rolled. Like you got to keep in
he
mind
just
he
walked.
still went out and killed dragons alone.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to listen. Max is proof that you don't have to be able to walk to kill dragons.
All you
Like it's just
need
like a moment of
is-
like, wait a second, hold on. You're carrying several tons, and you're still able to be agile enough to kill a fucking flying dragon that is also, by the way, timeless, therefore unkillable. It's like, yeah, I just beat them to death. It's like, holy shit, dude.
My hatred is enough that immortality in time takes a backseat.
I want to see a one-shot shit post where Jack Rackin, General Radon, and Hovel all sit down to have a discussion.
Oh, that's gonna be an interesting discussion. It's
You know,
so
like
you do
like Fate
magic,
Zero,
huh?
you know, like Fate Zero style with Gilgamesh, Iskander, and Arturia.
Oh man, that would actually be interesting too, because Hobble's sitting there with two different magic users. Like, I don't think I like this.
Fuck these people.
course,
Radon uses gravity magic on Hovel. Hovel's like, thanks for the extra training.
Sneaky.
Are you
I
doing
kind of
something,
want us to
giant man?
finish. I kind of want us to finish up. Scorcher or Shatter Steel at some. I still do want to finish at
Just so
some
you
point.
can use Hovel.
No, I just want to skip to our worm crossover idea, in which Valkyrie does the big thing, and then Hobble's like, "All right, I'm taking the ring off." It's like, wait, what?
All right.
What do you mean you're taking the ring off?
I'm going to stop carrying the burden of my men. Takes ring off.
No, drops ring. Ring makes a crater in the floor.
Based on the weight we've calculated, because Sneaky and I were like, oh, also Hobble just starts making cults for himself in every world they visit.
Yeah.
No.
Accidentally breaks through the first mantle. It's like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, it would.
I'll fix that later. There is so much potential to be had with Dark Souls characters and the absolute bullshit that the world
Hovel is
provides.
just great. Hovel's just a fantastic character. Because the
It's not
best
even
part
just
about
Hovel,
Hovel, like the best part about Hovel is hands down the fact that he's not important at all.
No, he's just a normal ass human who was really good at
Yeah,
killing dragons alongside the likes of
didn't get some
Ornstein.
superpower, didn't steal some hidden strength from the dragon, didn't do anything. He was just some dude that one day was like, I'm gonna beat the dragon to death. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay, buddy, holy shit.
You've got the likes of the 4 Knights of Gwyn, who all have something unique about them. One primeval human, one pygmy human, Ornstein with his inherent lightning abilities, one of the giants. You've got all the gods.
then-
you got all
and
these
then there's
important
just Hobble.
characters.
What's your
And then there's this-
superpower?
I'm
like
a
to
normal
train.
human that hits hard.
Yeah. What's your superpower? I like to train.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like of
Oh,
all the
okay, I
characters,
guess.
he's the only real human mentioned in
Yeah.
those backstories.
He is literally like the only normal guy that's just straight up just like, yeah, I just like to hit things. Also, I don't trust magic. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool and all. It's like, also, I casually carry multiple tons of weight on my back, and I'm unaffected by it, and I can 1v1 dragons, and the dragons fear me. It's like, what?
The violence has escalated.
The violence has escalated. Yeah.
There's a TV trope for that. I don't know what it is. It was like the secret badass. Like no one thinks much of them until he fights.
Yeah, and then you're like, wait a second, hold on. Yeah, it's like some sort of like Marvel Endgame fight where everyone's like, I'm a
Oh.
god, I'm the most smartest man on earth, I'm a literal immortal Hulk, and then I'm just like, I'm a normal human.
Yeah.
Also, I can punch so hard that mountains crumble and timeless dragons fear me. It's like,
Also,
what?
it just occurred to me the reason Howell might not seem important is because of the cover up. Like they
Oh,
discovered
yeah.
that they discovered he had backup plans to kill the gods if the gods ever went too far.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, we got to cover this
God,
up.
straight up might have just covered him up, yeah. Yeah.
Like that was part of the description key of like I had to lock my friend up, and to this day we don't know if it's Hobble referring to one of his regiment guys ending up as a scapegoat for Hobble, or if
Yeah.
it's Gwyn talking about a friendship with Hobble, being like, I don't want to kill this dude that helped me free the world, so we're just gonna settle for this.
Yeah. Though, given the description of the fact that you get Hovel's ring and that wearing Hovel's ring alleviates your load, it can be assumed that that's not actually Hovel.
Yeah. Due to the way it
Hovel's
works,
still out there.
due to the way it
Hobble's
works,
still
it
there.
could be Hobble, or it could just be one of the rings for his guys, and
Hovel's still out there, carrying that load.
oh man, that would be a horrifying thought for dragons. They tell stories of Hobble to their younglings to keep them in line.
The reason why the dragon cult isn't large is because Hovel keeps hunting them down one by one.
Every few years, they get big enough for Hovel to go, I smell teeth.
I smell a dragon. Yeah.
I love how quickly lore balloons in Dark Souls when you just start adding everything together.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just scan through the front page and then end it for the night, because it is 9:20. I love talking about Dark Souls, and it's
It is.
absolutely fucking ridiculous lore, but we do have to close it up.
God, the fucking Mr. Big Hat fucking Logan stared into the
Logan.
abyss, did not care. Kept
Stares
staring
into
in the abyss, did not care. Stared in the abyss a little too long. Okay, well, he can't care because he's crazy now.
Which, to be fair, even when you kill him, you still get some cool shit off him. And it's like, oh shit, he actually did figure that stuff out.
Yeah. It came at the cost of his sanity, but hey, you know what? He proved that human could totally decrypt Seed's bullshit.
That is honestly the best part about Big Hat Logan, is canonically, he is basically the magic Hovel. Where
Yeah.
he's just like, no, fuck you. I might be just an average normal human who is above average smart, but fuck you. I'm gonna make magic so good, Seed is gonna wish he came up with it. And it's like, okay, buddy, holy shit.
Yeah.
He's still one of my favorites because his response to being turned undead is, I have an infinite amount of time for magic now.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Logan
Logan.
was a good character as well, yeah.
Mr. Big Hat Logan was fantastic.
And
I was
now we have
actually
Best
sad.
Wife.
I
And-
was so sad when Logan's questline ended. I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah,
he was
that's
so
a
cool,
very
though.
sad ending, but that was basically Dark Souls 1 in a nutshell. Like, honestly, Gwyn,
The only one who had a quote-unquote
Onion
good
Knight
ending was
girl.
Sieglinde.
What's
Yeah,
her?
Sieglinde.
Sieglinde. Yeah, Sieglinde.
Sieglinde.
Oh, that was such a depressing ending. That was
Yeah.
such a
God.
depressing
But it's
ending.
also arguably the best ending in Dark Souls 1 because it's like, you know what, she lived on and she was able to honor her father's last request to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, it's also very lore heavy in the fact that Sieglinde is canonically able to slay Sieglinde.
Siegmeyer, yeah.
Siegmeyer, yeah. She was able to
Yeah.
canonically slay him.
Oh, also, she was a normal ass human too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Also, totally normal girl. Yeah, totally
Yeah.
normal girl. Only about 20 years of age on Sieglinde's possibly centuries, maybe, question mark.
All we knew was that Siegmeyer was
Yeah,
undead.
Siegmeyer.
Sieglinde was a normal ass human. It's like,
Yeah.
cool. So this is just proof. This is just proof that humans can totally get to the ridiculous levels we just discussed about with Hobble.
Yeah.
Undead can do it faster. That's the
Mhm.
difference.
Because undead can't fully die.
Yeah,
Humans
an
can.
undead can just
And
keep
we
throwing
also have
themselves
no
into
proof that
problems without
Hobble
resting.
ever actually went undead.
We don't. For all we know, normal humans can use souls the same way undead can. It's just a matter of like, if I die, I lose everything. If they die, they just reset.
Yeah. Unless they hollow, at which point then they're killable, apparently, canonically.
Yeah, they never did explain why
Lunar
everything
Witch,
always reset.
some cringe ass shit where Morgan Le Fay ends up, and Gilgamesh ends up in Danmachi. Pretty fucking cringe to me.
Okay.
Stay away from my dungeon.
I would
Yeah.
look at a Danmachi Fate crossover if it's either
Yeah.
Kid Gil
Yeah.
or Caster Gil, because those two are great. Normal Archer Gil, that's a problem.
I don't know. It's Fate Extelia.
Okay,
Then in
that
its
Gil might
Archer
be
Guild,
okay.
it
That Archer Gil
depends.
might be okay, but the problem is Gilgamesh didn't like the gods, and they exaggerated that for Fate, so he might just go on a god-killing spree.
Yeah, especially because the gods in Danmachi are limited to human levels. So we
Yeah,
got Stay Away from My Dungeon by Sir Helios the Bad Writer. All the gods, adventurers, and incorrectly spelled entrepreneurs keep scheming around my dungeon. I can't stand people looking the look on people like Hermes' face when things go according to plan. So it's a good thing that I'm extremely good at messing with plans. What's that, Hermes? You want Belle to be a hero? Wave goodbye to that plot armor. Monster, God, Gamer, Self-Insert. A Fate Stay Night Danmachi crossover featuring Medusa, Hestia, Freya, and OC. Now
I'm
this
no longer
story
interested.
does have about 5,000 words per chapter.
I'm gonna go eat my
and
pizza while it's still kind of hot.
It's go for it. And it's confidently sitting at 435 favorites, which is fairly impressive for its low chapter count and word count. But at the same time, I don't know how really that's gonna be that interesting. So I guess we'll just we'll pop this up and then end it here.
Why not?
Danmachi MC is going against Danmachi in its entirety. At first I set up the MC as a reincarnated into the dungeon, which basically goes straight into base building, Clash of Clans style.
Fucking really?
Yeah, Clash of Clans really, he actually said that. I decided to make those elements a backdrop for the MC and Hestia as they go through slice of life political drama. So I repeat, the Stay Away from My Dungeon title will be taken to heart. This is not a fic where the MC is the dungeon 24/7 grinding experience. This is a fic about the MC grinding social points and political maneuvering. Which almost always means stories can be absolute fucking garbage, because if you guys are any much aware of the average IQ of a fanfic writer, it's pretty low.
Fairly around room temperature.
Yeah, their grasp on politics and their ability to therefore write politics is fairly rudimentary, shall we say. Again, the Deore writer does a decent amount of politics in his writing, and I don't mean politics in real world politics, I mean politics as in realistic Danmachi politics. And he does a decent job of it. A lot of logical conclusions for politics, though, which obviously anyone that knows about politics would realize that logical conclusions for politics rarely ever happen.
That's an oxymoron.
Despite his superpowers, he will be using them to explore and revolutionize, can't even spell revolutionize correctly, the dynamic of gods within Daimachi world, instead of aiming to get stronger for the sake of getting stronger. Dozens of rejections to compare Familia on top of special day work. Dear Hestia, I would like to remind you of outstanding balance of massive amount of money. Please pay this debt. A deadline is coming. Blah blah blah. Loans in the name of Athena, Lakshmi. All dealings are here, truth and fairness. So basically, this author is trying to portray Hestia as a retard who takes out massive loans and then doesn't pay them back, which
Woman.
isn't far from the truth. Isn't far from the truth.
Yeah, she does take out a large loan, but it was to a friend specifically. So.
Yeah. In this case, it's from Athena and Lakshmi, which I assume is a god that doesn't matter. I've never
wait,
heard
hang
of
on.
it
I think
before.
that's an Indian.
Yeah,
Yep.
That,
Hindu god.
that's
Hindu god.
Lakshmi. Wait, are they?
Lakshmi.
Lakshmi. yeah.
That's Lakshmi. Are they referring to the actual like historical figure, which is basically just the Indian Jeanne d'Arc? Or
Yes.
is there an Indian god named Lakshmi that I don't
Uh,
know?
both.
Hindu goddess of wealth and good fortune.
Yeah,
wife of
both
Vishnu.
is the answer to your
Okay.
question. Yeah.
Yep.
She had been so certain of herself that she didn't hesitate to take out the loan, and look where she was now. She didn't even know who this creditor was. It was just another problem. I didn't know being immortal could be so hard. Festus made it look easy when they descended. Even poor Mika, relative to Hestia, made gaining a familiar look easy. Work earnestly, build a reputation, attract children, and give them blessings. Everything would be smooth sailing. Hestia's child, with her help, would have been super awesome. Carving legends, blah blah blah. She just wanted to go sleep. She rubbed her eyes, began to cry, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, fade away. She heard loud knocks from the entrance. She wasn't expecting visitors. It was a gigantic man, dwarfing anyone she had ever seen before. And a beautiful purple-haired woman wearing a blindfold. Everyone familiar in this chat with Fate's Gamble knows who this is.
Oh no.
The
It's
man
Gamble
was
Harry.
carrying a
It's
huge
Harry.
bag on his back while the woman was holding a small bag in her hands. Not even for once did she mistakenly hope these two people were godsends who happened to be here looking for Familia. The man's presence was unmistakable. She was looking at a fellow god. That one, however, she did not remember meeting. Hello, can I help you? Blah blah blah, rundown church. Honestly, so the spag so far has been excellent. I know I'm skipping over a bunch of it, but honestly, the spag so far has actually been excellent. And he's even using hyphens correctly, which is very impressive.
Oh, that is amazing.
Blah blah blah, yep, body, blah blah blah, charm speak Freyas. I was looking around, city, settle down, church, nice, God saying here, do you own this place? Did you just ascend? How rude of me, come in. Seems to be a misunderstanding. Please have a seat. The woman wasn't a goddess, however. No way. This guy already had a familia? Well, yes. When you are a large, muscly man, you do inspire confidence more than a 4-4 hyper-stacked lolly does. Especially one that is airheaded.
Hmm.
I am
Imagine that.
Medeer. This is Medusa. Nice to make your acquaintance. You're not the owner of this place. Festus lent you it. She hoped that you could find your own footing. I'll compensate you if you let me stay here. You're well informed for a newcomer. Well, I just go to the guild and I talk to them. They tell me everything without even showing credentials. Yeah. I think that's more because they're scared of what a god might do out of sheer respect. You should go to Hephaestus for anything. It's not my property. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Don't like the crowd. It's loud and smelly. Blah blah blah. Everyone gathers around this place has had the same stench about them. This is a city of dreams. All new people from what we've seen. Desperate, snobbish air, as if they're entitled to making it big. She looks sideways, whistled awkwardly. Again, so like the whole framing of the narrative is also quite well done. I'm not really sold on the premise though. You know, the premise being that this guy is a gamer, self-insert, original character who is in charge of the dungeon.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not really sold on that idea. Blah blah blah. A bunch of dialogue back and forth. Ooh. Again, it's fairly decent dialogue. It's a lot simpler than it looks. Hestia shriveled up on side. You just have to ask the right questions. What kind of familiar do you want to build? What kind of people are you looking for? Where should you look for them? Things like that. I've wandered around the streets. I want a familiar of awesome adventurers. You want to build a familiar of adventurers, or do you think you should want to build a familiar of adventurers? Hestia still at that. She didn't know the answer of that question. Again, so, I mean, this is just General Fanon claps on Hestia, which is fair enough. Hestia does need to get clapped on. Money, blah, blah, blah. Exorbitant rent, blah, blah, blah. Interesting, I could lie to a god, and everyone that was blessed by my fallen could lie to gods too. The game reassured me, but I hadn't been sure about that. After reincarnating, I spent months having no social interaction with beings that weren't under my control, and I've been playing a game of an entirely different genre until today. Medusa and I were in the church. Rumors, blah blah blah. This guy, she said we can trust. She's adorable, isn't she? Looks at Medusa. Medusa's a level 3 adventurer already. The more stats are raised, the more monstrous the user becomes. User risks going berserk with excessive skill use. Okay, yeah. So basically, the author tried to convert Medusa into a what do you call it? Adventurer of Danmachi style, giving them all of the abilities of their noble phantasms and whatnot as spells instead of noble phantasms.
Hmm.
Epic.
I'm kind of curious how that works for Bellerophon, I think, for Pegasus.
She just summons it. She doesn't cut it for her. She just summons it.
Mm.
So yeah, for Bellathron, the Bridle of Chivalry magically summons a golden bridle, allowing the user to control a monster within 2 levels of them. Not sure what that means.
I don't
Bell-
think monsters have
Bellatron,
them, do they?
I wouldn't know.
They're more in a weird. They're more like loosely ranked.
Author just casually also included shapeshift to her for some reason, allowing the target to transform at will. How are you holding up, Medusa? Are you getting used to your human body? Medusa wants to fuck him. Blah blah blah. Playing nice with gods and surface people, my instincts keep flaring up. Monsters and mortals were not meant to coexist, we were meant to fight each other. So yeah, she's a monster adventurer, who's been blessed by the god of the dungeon to become a human.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Man,
Just happens to look like Medusa from Fate's Day Night.
I'm pretty sure. Is it Saturn or Uranus? One of them would like to have a
Uranus,
word.
yeah.
He'd like to have a word about, hey, what you doing out the dungeon, man? You ain't supposed to be out here.
Yeah, being that he is trying to actively suppress the dungeon to make sure that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he would notice a fluctuation like, oh, suddenly there's a new entity here in charge. Oh God.
Yeah. Blah blah blah, surface people, blah blah blah. Yeah, we could stay in the dungeon, building up base skills, blah blah, it gets nowhere. It would get us nowhere for me to build up bases in the dungeon and level up all my skills. Eventually, I would get the attention of high-level adventurers, and then things would get too dangerous. Well, if you're the god of the dungeon, no one's ever
Already-
actually made it past, like, floor 60 or something. So it
Yeah, and
doesn't
even then
matter.
people.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you get the attention, like, oh no, the god of dungeon's awake. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, but you're still gonna fucking die.
Is he between levels 1 and 42? No, okay, he's not our problem currently.
Yeah,
then.
literally, it's like they literally couldn't do shit about, oh no, god of dungeon's awake. The only way to stop him is to kill the core at the bottom of the dungeon. It's like, well, good luck getting there. Because you're
Good luck
not.
getting to my core at the very
You
bottom
weren't
of the
getting there back in the day when I wasn't awake, and now you're definitely fucking not getting there now that I am awake. Like, I'm not really sure how this is an argument, but fine, whatever.
You couldn't beat me when I was at my weakest. How are you expecting to beat me now that I am at my strongest?
Yeah, more awake. Woo! Alright.